think he's the shit.
La merde.
Merci.
Shit. Crap. Damn.
Putain.
Damn shit.
Putain. I know putain.
Shit too. What's that curse one that they do? It's not Les Mirrored, right? Les Mirrored? No.
Meld. Yeah.
Les Mirrored.
It's like shit.
Did the lighting just change
It
subtly
did.
right
Oh
now?
wow.
Did it?
I think it's your aura
That's
that
what
you
it felt,
brought to the
right?
Change
podcast.
the
Because
mood.
I'm
Yeah.
going super
My power is
Saiyan
like,
right
I
now.
Are we recording?
Yeah, we are. He sneaks it
God
in. He
damn
sneaks
it.
it in. He'll sneak the record button.
Oh, okay.
So you don't see it. So like,
We'll be talking, bullshitting, saying
how it
racist
always
things.
happens.
You know?
yeah,
I slip in when they don't notice it, and then by then it's too late.
with no consent. Oh,
Wait,
what?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Welcome one, welcome all to episode 45 of the None of Our Business podcast. We are your hosts, Philly fanatic, philanthropy, philosophy, peace steezy, peace styles. I'm fucking drawing up. Oh shit, I'm drawing to be like Keenan Duncan.
Oh, I'm
Keenan
here. I
Duncan
forgot I
Ruse.
was here. I didn't hear my name, so I thought
I didn't remember who you were. You know,
Oh,
Actually,
yeah,
I almost
that's how
forgot
irrelevant
you
you
were
are
on
to
the
my life.
podcast.
I'm not important at all.
K9, C-section, section 9. Section
That's all
8.
you
I don't
got.
know.
C4.
C4. Oh
See
yeah,
these
C4.
nuts. This should be my main thing.
And I'm Joe.
Oh God.
Just El Guapo.
El Guapo
El Guizis.
Castellanos. Today we got a very special guest.
Bow. Pew 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 pew.
We got Igor Chak
Hello
in
everyone.
the building.
Hello.
Another
Nice.
deep voice guy, huh?
Yo.
Now I'm like super intimidated. I'm here with the highest pitch.
He's like, hey guys.
Damn it.
Welcome to the show. Welcome
Yes.
to the show, Igor. I don't
Thank
really
you.
have nicknames for you. It's always
You
just
better
been-
not. That's
Oh,
He's like, you better not.
dang, he'll
Put some
cut your
respect
throat.
on my name.
He's like, put some respect on this name.
Well, shit. How long have you known Joe for?
Oh man,
Like 10 years.
10 years. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
been a
he's
while.
sneaking up on me. All right.
Yeah.
You can't sneak up on you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're a
Wait,
fighting little
10
bitch.
years? Damn, where'd you
Yeah.
guys first meet?
Oh, it was at
Love
the.
at first sight?
Feel free to make up any story.
All
It's
right.
okay because
It
we know
was-
Joe.
It was a
has
long night and
boring
I'm
life.
not gonna go.
Okay.
right. There were some details.
There was
and,
some other long things. Okay, yeah.
So there was this company. I forgot the name of it.
It was called Proven Blue.
Proven Blue. There you go.
Mm.
We're not gonna endorse it.
No,
It's
we're
probably
not.
dead by
That is
now.
Dead and buried. Millions lost.
What's
But,
proven blue?
But I think what they did is they sold cell phones. You know, back in the day where they had those flip phones.
Yeah.
Okay, the razor thing.
The
Razor.
razor.
Okay,
Going
yeah.
back.
Blackberries.
That was like 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, that was a
Yeah.
long time
Yeah,
ago. But I got a job fixing cell phones there basically.
Oh,
'Cause,
okay.
yeah.
Are you like an electrical engineer or something?
Well, I'm a product designer. I went to school to do product
Ah.
design, industrial design.
Industrial design,
I grew up in Seattle.
hey, shout out to Seattle.
Yo.
Joe and I've been there.
Seattle, yeah. I ran from Seattle as
Fast as you could, huh?
yes. I
Is
don't
it the wet, the rain?
I don't
is
like the rain. Yeah, it's just it gets on
Ah.
you.
You don't like the rain?
When you move here or you visit here, you're like,
what the
why?
fuck? in December or something like
Yeah.
Why do I
that.
live anywhere?
Why move
but-
anywhere else?
and I go there, people are happy. I'm like, why are you happy?
Because they don't know.
They don't know.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't know.
That's crazy.
So you went to school there and then moved out here?
I went to school there, moved out here. Well, I graduated. I went to the Art Institute. I graduated. My first job was in Salt Lake City. I lived there for like 6 months
Oh.
during the winter. And then I moved out here.
Mhm.
I worked at Nokia. You guys remember
cool,
Nokia?
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was a designer at Nokia, and then Nokia kind of went under because they were spending way too much money on shit they
Yeah.
probably should not have been spending on.
Yeah.
And then I just couldn't. It was like 2008, I think.
Yeah, it was like
you know, the
2008,
recession.
2009.
I just could not
yeah.
find a job.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, so
Damn.
I found this ad like on Craigslist fixing cell phones, and I'm like, I can fucking fix cell phones.
Oh, okay. Craigslist.
He's like, this
too.
shit is easy.
Shit.
Yeah,
'Cause I would
Craigslist.
see those signs like even posted on the street poles, you know,
yeah,
for
yeah,
like
Fix
fixing,
cell phone, yeah.
cell phone repair.
yeah.
Yeah, that's wow.
But
And then how long from
He
knowing
didn't even
Joe?
finish his story. He hasn't
What?
even finished, and you're already asking
He's
other
on-
questions.
He's doing.
yeah,
like-
you're interrupting.
piece of
I'm
shit.
sorry.
You're interrupting.
This is the Keenan
you know what? How
podcast,
about
man.
this?
Thank you.
Wait.
Continue to-
As
messing with you.
tradition holds, we finally got the guest to turn on Keenan almost right away.
Immediately. He's like,
I
you know
saw
what?
I
Fuck you
saw
guys.
an easy opening for transition, but you know what? Fine.
Why are you
Speak on
transitioning if he's
Joe.
not finished with his story?
It sounded like
It's
it
cool.
was.
It's cool.
Hey, rule
Son of
number
a
one:
bitch.
no
sound-
one tells everyone else how to pod. You just
Yeah,
pod.
Joe.
You
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
pod.
All right,
Yeah.
so continue.
I'm messing with you. I'm sorry. Where were we?
Where
Yeah.
you started working at Proven.
So you took the
you saw the
Craigslist,
ad.
yeah.
Yeah, Blue and Blue. And were you there before or after?
It was after. I came in like, I don't know, probably 6 months after.
Yeah, and you were doing. I'm sorry,
I-
I don't know what
Yes,
half of the
remember
Well,
either.
well, that's the thing though. I started with just like quality control,
Uh-huh.
and then from quality control, I got moved to shipping,
Oh, okay.
and
yeah,
then I
yeah.
was running the shipping
Mhm.
department. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was one room, about half the size of this.
Yeah, I think there were like 4
That's
departments
small.
in
Yeah.
one room.
This
Yeah.
whole company was like,
No. The company. I mean, the company was.
It was this. I think they were doing sales.
Yeah.
The sales was in the. They were keeping all the cell phones
Yeah.
as storage. Half of the. So it was like one big room and like a small.
Yeah.
I don't know, like a janitor's room.
Yeah.
or
It was like a
something. I don't
janitor's
know.
room.
Oh, and that's where-
That's where I was.
that sounds
And
about
then-
right.
And
That's
then
where Joe
Igor was
goes.
in a hallway.
Oh yeah.
I was in the hallway. Yeah.
He was. His desk was in a hallway.
I
And then-
upgraded though. You
Yeah.
should have seen my other desk. I was like, I'm taking this spot.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
a very small operation, but
2008 was a hard year. Huh?
It
It
was a
was-
hard year.
it's crazy.
So it was one of those mom and pop fix your cell phone up places.
It was by this guy that used to work for like Verizon or something
You
like
worked
that.
for Sprint.
For Sprint, and he did like
Oh.
corporate sales.
Okay.
So I mean, he made money. He would always brag about something.
Oh really?
But
But you guys weren't making that money with him, huh?
no,
Oh, no.
not really, not really.
So this
make
was his
dirt.
own personal private
He was,
organization.
his private
Yeah.
organization, and that's, I guess, it was fun though.
It was fun. It was
yeah,
it was a very different experience, like it was a very small operation that really tried to be as corporate as they could, but at the same time, like it was very lax.
yeah.
Like you could just, as long as you stayed within your hours, you could really just be there
That's true.
and do whatever, hang out, listen to your music. Like it was really a chill environment.
And it was like, I wouldn't say, it was almost like family. We were
Yeah.
really
Oh,
close
okay.
friends. Like,
Yeah,
we would
we were
hang out
really-
after work. and-
After work, we would go hang out, have
Yeah.
drinks. Like
Mm.
we would go to functions, just hang out a
Which
lot.
explains how you guys ended up becoming friends. 'Cause
Mhm.
the,
Yeah.
the opportunity was there to be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We would
yeah.
sing a lot.
Yeah, we would sing. a
Oh
lot.
really?
Karaoke and shit.
No, we would just
It was
Oh,
singing
just
the
singing
office,
office,
radio
right?
come up, and
Yeah.
I mean, nobody could beat this guy. But
I mean, all right, stop it. Come on.
I would listen. It's like, man, you're good. You're good.
It was cool because Igor used to work there before I started. Then he left,
Mhm.
right? He left, and then I started working there, and then he came back, and I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Oh,
Because they were
okay.
really chummy. There was this guy George. He used to run. He
Yeah,
ran the
cafe.
operation pretty much.
Mm.
And George was all excited to have Igor back. And I'm like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Joe got
No.
jealous.
I got a little jealous at first,
Mhm.
and then
did
You
the
were
eye
like,
thing.
oh.
Yeah, we looked
Yeah.
at each other. Like,
"What's up, dude? All right."
Close-ups of the eyes and the camera switching.
mhm.
And now, like, we're good homies.
Was that the last time you guys ever hung out though? Was like from when you guys were
No,
working
I
there?
mean, we
No,
hang
we
out.
would
here
hang
and
out
there, here and there.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, on and off. I know you moved to the Bay for a bit, right?
I moved to the Bay, for 2 years, which was kind of horrible
Mm.
because of
Hated
the
it.
rain and people.
Yeah. Keenan's
rain
from the
and
Bay.
people.
Yeah, well, he was at the Bay
Oh,
for
I
school.
can't say anything. I'm waiting till the story's
Oh,
over. Till you
here
guys
we
finish.
go.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
The story's over now.
I'm just
Keenan.
giving Joe shit. So fuck you, Joe.
You may talk. Go ahead.
Oh,
Wow.
thank you, sir.
Wow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow.
But you didn't like the Bay at all?
Bay is different because I like the life here. I like to, do my thing, be focused, go out, party.
Mm.
Like I don't party every week, but sometimes you need to relax, go out, eat somewhere. Everything's open late here. People dress nicer,
Yeah.
just the vibe here is nice. And Bay is just different. Everybody works. You go to a coffee shop, you go to move there with my wife, and We first live in Emeryville,
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and Emeryville
Over
used
by
to
Tesla.
See-
Tesla's out there.
by Pixar.
Oh no,
Pixar.
you're right.
No,
Pixar. I'm sorry.
Pixar.
Yeah,
And
you should know
Emeryville is
that.
like next to Oakland.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if you guys know, Emeryville used to be like this very industrial area.
It was a trash.
It was a
area,
really
yes.
trashy area.
then
And somebody
Pixar is
decided
something,
it was
yeah.
like, let's put billions of dollars into
Yeah.
this because Pixar was there.
Yeah,
And they started building all these like apartment
it
complexes.
looks really nice now.
It's
Yeah.
nice, but again, Oakland is nearby, and
Yeah.
you're like, you're going.
You could
You know,
smell Oakland.
So we used to go to 24 Hour Fitness, and it was in Oakland.
Mm.
And there's a street you would always drive. So you're driving this nice Emeryville, and you go into the street, and there are these tents, homeless people.
Mhm.
There are always shootings there. I've seen people being shot there. I've seen people being hit by cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's just
What?
like this
Yeah.
this little street you have to go through.
Sounds
to-
like San Leandro Boulevard.
but
And I'm complaining about the homeless people on the freeways here.
oh,
well,
man,
that's
yeah.
it. I mean, it's almost like that. The street he's talking about is kind of like the Skid Row here in LA, but with gang members.
Yeah.
Homeless gang members.
Well, I mean, not homeless gang members.
It's a double whammy.
That's kind
Can
of
you
weird.
imagine,
'Cause
like-
if you're in a gang, you kind of have stuff.
No, I'm sure they have like their own gangs.
Pro-
They
little
might, like,
crews,
this-
I mean,
right?
there
Yeah.
there has to be some control even with homeless. They're
Like John Wick.
yeah, something like that.
yeah.
No, for
Yeah.
real.
the whole underground network. Dude.
Yeah. Well, technically, the joke was, and I'm not sure if it's still true, that the San Francisco homeless people have like unionized.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Local
See,
16 out there.
the
is
problem
fucking crazy.
the problem with San Francisco is it's funny. There's so much money there.
A lot.
There are billions, trillions of dollars. There's all these companies like Google, Apple, and so you go downtown San Francisco, which actually for me, I'm used to calling LA. You call LA,
Mhm.
like Pasadena, LA,
Yeah.
Santa Monica, LA.
Yeah.
And you go to the Bay Area, and people get offended. I'm like, where'd you live? I'm going to San Francisco. You mean the Bay Area? I'm like, it's fucking the same thing. But
Or
apparently
the
people
gay
get
area.
offended. So
Yeah.
now I call it the Bay Area.
Mhm. You
And-
got to encompass everyone.
yeah.
It's funny because if you're in Oakland,
Well, Joe, he didn't finish yet, man.
eat a
Come on.
dick, bitch. If you're in Oakland,
This
you call San
motherfucker.
Francisco the city.
So Philly.
Yeah,
So
the
about
city.
the
if you're in the East Bay, you call. If you're in the East Bay, you call San Francisco the city. It's like a thing.
Oh, wait, East Bay is that related to the clothing company? East Bay.
I think it's based out of
I think so.
out of that area.
they
Yeah.
don't even sell that shit anymore.
Well, see,
huh?
because I was there from 2003 to 2010.
Mhm.
Basically, I was in that whole spectrum. So I've definitely seen a good amount of what you're talking about,
Mhm.
and that growth. I mean, I even told a story about when I was there, and Silicon Valley was just Apple and Google, and there was nothing else. There.
Yeah.
And and those were still like unquotes like a startup company because they weren't the way they are now.
Is that why you went out there for work?
Yeah, for work. So one of my clients I consult for is they're building this data center on water, on a
Oh,
barge,
shit.
basically, that uses the river water
Yeah,
to
so it
cool
can
down.
cool down. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
What?
So I kind of consulted them from LA, then decided to kind of move out, maybe see if I could grow with them, but didn't really work out.
Did it
so-
finish? Because I haven't heard any stories in like Wired magazine or anything like that of it fully finished.
I
Yeah,
remember
it's finished, right?
Getting, it's
It is?
well, it's getting built. It's almost
Okay,
almost
okay,
finished.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember seeing
That's how
that.
big of a project it is.
Yeah.
Like it's like there's
Oh, it's a
attention
big-
on it?
yeah.
It takes a lot for that. You had thermodynamics to worry about and all this other engineering complications
Yeah, it's like
to make sure it doesn't get damaged.
it's
yeah.
a tens of millions of dollars
Yeah.
involved in that.
Fuck.
Yeah.
We're in the wrong industry, guys.
Seriously though, man, there's so much money out there. What the fuck?
There is. I mean, especially you see like a 19-year-old kid comes up with this app that I don't know makes you fucking mustache through
Yeah.
augmented reality on the phone,
Yeah.
and he sells a company for like 10 million.
Yeah.
It's like I just failed in life,
Yeah. 19
like, what
Yeah.
have I been working my ass off for? This kid learned fucking computer science in high
Just
school.
graduated high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably would have liked Alameda, which is
Alameda.
the island right south.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Alameda used to be what is it, like a military base?
It did, and it feels a little suburban at times, but I mean there's always like a rough area and parts.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think with the
It feels like
experience of
Pleasantville. Like
kind of
you just
kinda
get
is.
into Alameda, and it's like
Mhm.
a different. It's like a whole different vibe.
Because it's like
Mhm.
it's separated from Oakland in the sense
It
that
is,
there's
yeah.
a big waterway blocking it. But I also think because of the expensiveness of San Francisco, it does cover a whole part of the Bay Area. But I think if you still go into like South San Francisco or um by the 92 bridge, where's that area called?
like
Starts-
Redwood City.
San Mateo.
San
San
Mateo.
Mateo. Yeah.
San Mateo, I think it was a perfect spot.
Yeah, we
With little
we
rent.
moved from Emeryville to San
Oh, you
Mateo.
did? Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That would be my dream
Half
location to
Moon
live
Bay,
at.
all
I
that
need
shit
to
out
go
there.
Yeah.
see San Francisco. To
We
this
haven't
day,
taken
I've
it. He
never
hasn't been
there.
up
You never
there.
been there,
No.
man.
But it sounds like you like history because every time we refer to something, you seem to know a history of it. Is history something you're interested in?
Not really.
No?
I just
You
read
just
a lot.
happen to come across
Access
Yeah.
denied.
He's like, I just know shit.
Yeah, no. Well, it sounds like you take the time to learn the history.
It's like
whatever.
Philly,
Well,
Philly
yeah,
saw
yeah.
something. He was
I mean,
like,
I like to learn everything.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
whatever interests me,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
read about it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at, though. It's like if you come across something, you're like, well, I wonder what's up with this. Like,
Mhm.
why this? Why is this the way it is?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
Which-
you,
Explains your like background in like design and shit like that.
Yeah.
why
maybe.
did you pick industrial design? Because that was something that I would be interested in for a long time. Because I like making and designing stuff. But
Yeah.
what was it about?
Well, when I was, a kid, I would always like to, sculpt something, take things apart. Like I would take my dad's lawnmower, bore out the cylinder, make more air go in there, and put it back together and have it explode. So
Troublemaker.
basically, I always like to improve things or to destroy things. I just like how things function. And
I'm only half of that. I just like
You're too-
destroying stuff.
destroying
you
things
don't-
is
you
cool.
don't-
Yeah.
Relationships,
man, it's
friends.
cool.
Oh,
Actually, I brought this little handset
yeah.
here.
this was one of your first.
No, I don't doubt it's one of his first, but this is how boring it would get at work.
Oh shit! You
So-
made that. In the
Yeah, he
office.
made it at work. So it's a functioning. So basically, just take a handset from an old house
corded
phone or
phone,
an
yeah.
office phone,
Yeah.
and he converted it to a Bluetooth.
Yeah, we had a bunch of like Bluetooth headsets. So I
Yeah.
just took the circuitry out and
Yeah, he took the
Rewired it.
circuitry out and
Yeah.
just
That's
rewired
fucking
and
sick.
It's a
You'd be
functioning
surprised the amount of stuff you can do just knowing like the bare minimum of electric circuits and just in it. I mean, the terminology that gets tossed around a lot in the department is Ohm's law, and once you know that,
Mhm.
where you're dealing with voltage, current, and resistance, it's
You
it's
could
so
do anything.
it's so cool.
Yeah, to be honest, this is where it stops for me.
Oh,
I
it
can
does?
just solder
Oh.
things together. I can't program worth shit. I mean, I try to learn that. It's
Yeah.
just not my thing.
C++?
Electronics. Yeah, I just
yeah, it's tough.
no. Yeah.
Yeah.
he's like, I just look good and I just make things look good.
That's
He's
true.
like,
That's basically what a
you
product
figure-
designer
You
is.
figure out the rest. He'll hand it off to you, kid, and you'll be like, all right.
I'm sitting in a
get these
laboratory
parts.
with darkness. Like,
It's crazy though because a buddy of mine was talking about how like in a lot of tech companies like that there's the design team and then there's the engineers who are like programming and like creating and that they don't always necessarily get along.
Oh no, nobody. See, that's the thing. So I have a business now. I do product design, and somebody would say, well, you're a designer. You can probably do this. I'm like, well, design is a big field. There's a lot of things that goes into design: graphic design, packaging design, color materials, engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering. Then all the management that goes into it, and it's a broad field, and a lot of people think you're a designer, you can basically do anything,
Yeah.
which is not true. Like you're a musician, you know how to set up, everything in
so
music.
you can play the cello, right?
Hell no. But that's the thing. Like you'll just make it pretty, make it look good, and then it's somebody else's job to actually make it functioning.
That's true. Yeah.
And you get paid a lot to do that, right?
Well,
He's like,
kind of. You have to kind of make a name for yourself. You have to sell yourself and
Okay.
have a big portfolio.
You're actually pretty popular.
We have a
'Cause
celebrity on the
I
podcast.
won't say
No,
how
What?
popular.
well, you'd be surprised because
Can I get a picture
when
real
I
quick?
announced it, when I announced it, actually a couple of people hit me up, and one of them was like, "Yo, isn't that the dude that like does bikes?"
Yeah, for real.
I
That's
was
cool.
like,
You design bikes
I was
now?
like, how did you
Yeah.
fucking know that?
Now
No shit.
bikes from like out of bamboo
Motorcycle.
or
Motorcycle.
motorcycle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like,
Keanu
yo,
Reeves?
that's the dude that designs like motorcycles, right?
So we do have a
I'm like,
celebrity.
yeah.
Give me 1 second.
I was like, yo, how'd you fucking
Oh,
know?
you have YouTube videos and shit like that?
When I was younger, I would design concepts of motorcycles. I like motorcycles.
Okay.
So that was when I used to work at Nokia. They gave us money to go to school, so I went to art center here.
Yeah.
So I took night classes and kind of graduated with transportation design.
Sick.
So that was kind of my thing. I like cars and motorcycles. So if you guys like cars or motorcycles, I know a lot of things about that.
Okay.
Okay.
And
I know nothing about cars.
What about the new stuff, like the concept cars, like the new Toyota concept car called is it Huey? Something like that, where it like talks to you and you can take interactive communication.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like
okay.
cars like that.
You know
Yeah,
what? I got
yeah.
the perfect topic that I think would be interesting. Given your
You're just gonna
background,
segue out of my car
yeah.
topic?
No,
Fuck you,
it's in
Phil.
it's in the same realm. Because you're so into the design of like combustion engines and like the explosive power and this and that. Like, are we really unable to create something that's environmentally sustainable, that's actually badass, or like?
Well, electric.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's being held back on purpose, or given what you know about the design and the possibilities that are actually out there right now?
Well, any new technology that comes in, it usually gets held back because in order for technology to mature and advance, you need to put money into it.
Right.
And a lot of these corporations, they're run by older people, like over 50, 60, and their mentality is, and any business mentality, if this is making money now, why should we invest and, have more? So they're kind of trying to stick to this combustion engine, oil thing, but it's catching up. The only problem is with batteries. They're not lasting as long as they should. Mm-hmm. But again, with any technology, it needs to mature. You need to pour a lot of money into it. If all these companies, GM, Ford, they are already putting a lot of money, but the first car was an electric car.
Right.
When the first car, the 4-wheel car was
ever made.
was
The very
ever made
first
was an
one.
electric car.
shit.
Was that the Mercedes one?
It was the Mercedes,
yay.
Crazy.
Man,
So-
fuck you. I know my trivia. Damn it, Joe. I'm going to jump over this fucking table and just hug you, man.
This is how the podcast breaks apart.
Okay, so that was the first of the electric vehicle.
Yeah, that was and then they went to combustion because, it couldn't go far. You need to go far. So the only way to do it is fuel.
You need to have like fucking battery the size of a house.
Back in those
back
days.
in those
Right?
days,
Back
man,
in those
I don't
days,
know.
you just fucking had to have
Yeah.
a big ass. Yeah, I can imagine that. I mean,
Actually, it went to electric, then to steam, then to
There was some steam
gasoline.
power stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that would be a good business opportunity, right? To jump into as a product designer or industrial designer is a battery that would actually last or function.
Well,
right?
that's more of an engineer
Oh,
thing.
okay.
water or
That's-
steam power.
No, I meant like-
fuel cells and all that.
No, I just meant like
Fuel cell
yeah.
it's a good option,
Mhm.
but I think fuel cell it's not going to make it as electric is because electric is so
With the lithium
broad,
ion.
where
Abundant.
we have batteries everywhere.
lithium
Yeah.
ion batteries.
Yeah.
left
Yeah.
and right, yeah.
So once that, it's going to advance, I would say in about 5 years. So I think UK, London, they're banning their cars by 2025.
I heard about that. That's right.
What?
A lot of European cities are banning gas powered cars. California is fighting it, but
That's gonna start a war, man.
It's kind of hard for California.
why is it going to start a war?
I don't know that it'll start a war.
Well,
Against who?
my inclination to say that is because there are clearly economies that are entirely sustained by their ability to sell people oil.
Well, oil's been going down. That's the thing.
So that's why
The
they're
price
already,
per
yeah.
barrel is, I think it went down like 50%.
Which is weird because my gas prices ain't going down.
Oh, that's the idea.
Welcome to
Well, this is how
America.
the business works. If the demand goes down, you have to raise the price.
Right,
They
right.
can't,
So that's why it's going up. Right.
Yeah. So the price will never go down.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if there's no demand for oil,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
even going to cost more.
Mhm.
Fuck that.
The less and less people use it, It's like, well, we got to get our cut of it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, for
until it's so low that it's like, all right, well, now we just got to make anything. Let's get our money any way possible.
And there, do you think
That
there'll
makes
be
sense, though.
competition amongst, let's say, oil for in Philly's hypothetical scenario, all oil is taken out. It's just electric cars. We
Mhm.
still have this overpricing, over competitivity, greedy type corporations with electric cars.
It's going to get worse for
Yeah.
sure.
It's
gonna be worse.
It's
Okay.
the technology is going to come to the point where it's going to be too expensive for people to buy a car with all AI and
Mhm.
connections. It's going to cost like $150,000 for like a Toyota.
For a standard, yeah.
So what it's going to come to is this is a new business model. A lot of people are doing. They're renting things out to you. So it's like a lease.
Okay.
So, you're like Volvo is doing it. It's been really popular. BMW is beginning to do that. Ford is, they have a pilot for that. Is
Okay.
basically you lease a car, you pay whatever monthly. It's not expensive. It's like $400, $500 per month for a nice luxury car.
Mhm.
And they pay for your insurance, your maintenance. So it's a worry-free car. You're
Oh.
basically, you don't have to
So
pay
it's
for
like
anything.
a subscription service.
It's
for
a
cars
subscription,
now.
yeah.
Oh,
So
fuck.
I would say in about 5-10 years, everything's going to be subscription.
Oh my god,
And it's gonna be month to
That's
month.
horrible.
Month to
I'm
month,
ready.
yeah.
What's up?
Or,
You think-
or contracts.
You think
Yeah.
your girlfriends and wives will start doing that? Subscription services.
Well, that's gonna be interesting even for like the dating scene, because the whole like one of the things that I think still stands strong is somebody's ability to like say, oh, I own a Ferrari, but if everybody's renting Ferraris, like, it doesn't even matter anymore. You know what I mean?
I think in LA, like 90% don't own their Ferraris.
I think so. Yeah.
Pull
Yeah.
up. They get them from Platinum.
yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that the luxury rental place?
Platinum in
yeah.
Santa Monica, right? Or was
Or
it
Beverly Hills.
I think
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they fix cars or like
Oh, do
tune up
they?
cars or something like that.
Oh well, I don't.
Like those dudes that drive the Lotus, it's like those.
Yeah.
Is that- oh no,
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
owns a Lotus.
Well, so what's your dream car? Like I wish I had that. Or do you actually own your dream car?
I don't. I don't know. I like everything.
Oh, okay.
I don't like to hold on to something that for long. Like my motorcycles, I change them every 6 months
Oh, okay.
because
As long as it's not the women, though, you know what I mean?
no, man. Been married for
I was about
almost
to
8
say,
years
aren't you
now, so
married?
Hey,
I'm good.
congratulations, man.
Yeah.
What's the secret, man?
The secret is you have to change. You have to adapt to each other. You have to respect each other, and you're gonna go through hell.
Okay, so there've been times where it was like close to a split.
I think everybody
I
there's
was just gonna say I'm learning that.
yeah, but people are the problem, especially in LA. People don't want to change. They like, especially guys or girls, same thing. You have to adapt to each other.
He's looking at you, kid.
Why are you looking at me?
Joe doesn't change at all. He doesn't want to.
But you have to, in order to mature in life, you have to change. You have to think about yourself. So the way I look at it is, and thanks to my wife, when you kind of live by yourself, you don't see your negatives. You think I'm perfect. I'm not perfect, but I'm not bad.
I'm
Pretty
the fucking
damn
man.
close.
But it turned out I wasn't that perfect, and there were a lot of negatives, and those things I had to acknowledge that those things I have to improve on. So even not in relationships, even as your personal, you have to improve on your things. You have to look at yourself and see, where are my negatives? What am I doing wrong? If you have a business or you're doing something and it's not going anywhere, a lot of people are like, oh, it's just bad luck. No, you're doing something wrong.
Okay.
So look into those negatives. In relationships, same thing. If you keep fighting all the time and nothing changes, you have to sit down with each other and say, why are we fighting? It's usually the small things, like, I don't know.
Taking out the trash.
Yeah, you took
Not
out, you
washing your ass.
you didn't take out the trash, and she gets mad at you. So it's like, well, is it really that hard to take out the trash? So make it as a everyday thing. You just take out the trash.
Be rational. Just
Yeah.
like,
Be rational. Like those. That's the thing. A lot of fights, they begin from nothing, and they grow into this big thing, and then you start thinking like why did we even fight? Because you kind of, you get heated, then you don't talk to each other for like a day, and you're like, oh, I'm fine now. I'm kind of over the fight.
You can't even remember what you were really.
Yeah, you
fighting
can't remember
about.
what we're fighting about. So it's like we have this rule. It's like if we're gonna have a fight and not gonna talk to each other in 10 minutes, it's not worth the fight then. So
I like that you did that, because I've only recently thought about the idea of having a protocol
Mm-hmm.
for situations like that, and I'm learning that What I've learned is that most of what happens in a new relationship or a relationship that hasn't matured yet is that protocols haven't been established for allowing people not to be perfect. Like a lot of people will spend their time like worried that if they're not their perfect selves, then the relationship will fall apart, and it usually does. But the minute you allow for people not to be perfect,
That's
you
true.
have a protocol for that, and you're like, the next time we do this, let's know that it's not worth the fucking problem.
Yeah, that's true.
That's so like when I realized that, I was, and it's only recent, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So to hear that, that's confirmation.
Yeah, it's not rocket science. I mean, it's when two people are coming together, you have different backgrounds, so you have to kind of synchronize. If you want to, there are certain things that attract each other, but there are certain things that, like taking out the trash. Maybe it's a big deal for her. Like somewhere in the past, like it just pisses her off. So, let's eliminate that. Let's not do that again. And you got to look at those things. You always have to talk to each other.
Yeah.
You have to, ask like, what's, not in the fight, after the fight. It's like, okay, like what's wrong? Like, let's talk about this as mature adults. You can't be like screaming at each other. Don't raise your voice. Just be calm and, chill.
Yeah.
And talk about your problems.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough sometimes.
Why is it
Tell
tough?
you that it's tough.
Why is it tough?
Joe's going through some stuff.
No,
He's like, wait, what?
it's just
Talk to me, Joe.
It can.
I'm here for you.
No, I'm just saying it can be incredibly
He's
tough
going to Dr.
sometimes.
Phil you now.
Nothing in particular, but I'm just saying in general, it can be tough sometimes.
Let us be your Oprah.
But it is a relationship, and you kind of just have to work on.
But
shit,
tough is good. This is the thing. One of my friends said there's a saying: if your life is easy, you're failing in life. If your life is really hard, you're succeeding in life.
Wow.
Because
How is that?
I don't know. I'm not sure because I'm not.
Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out.
yeah.
So when you have an easy path, you're not really learning.
I get the gist
And
of it.
you have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
understand, you have to go through a lot of shit in life, through hell,
to learn.
to learn.
Yeah.
So we have to be forced to learn. And the more you can educate yourself, the more you learn about things, the more you experience emotions, even with like a girl or whoever you're dating, the more, as long as it's not toxic, as long as you understand what's going on, you have to go through those emotions. So I think the people that are most emotionally strong are the people that go through emotional hell through life, because you learn how to understand your emotions, you learn how to control your emotions, and emotions are just chemical reactions, in your body. It's,
They really are.
So
That's why I choose to wipe them all out with drugs. Do a little bit here, do a little bit there.
Then you don't have to deal
Emotionally
with it.
unresponsive.
So that's the easy way, Joe. You can't do that.
The easiest way is just releasing it with masturbation.
That's
That's another coping mechanism. And
But you told them not to
no,
masturbate.
no. I know, no.
did.
He's like, no, I know that was a mistake.
And Keenan did not pay attention.
No, there's nothing wrong with any of those things. And what I realized, and I hadn't had this feeling since I was like 14. I recently had like just a wave of thoughts and feelings, and it just wouldn't stop, right? Because I was going through hell. And something clicked in me that I remember reading when I was a kid, in the book The Four Agreements. It said, if you're the voice inside your head, who's the person listening? And the minute that I finally remember that in that storm that was happening, I suddenly realized I'm the person that's listening to this shit. So I'm not the thoughts and I'm not the feelings.
That's true.
And the minute I did that, it's like all the thoughts and the feelings stopped. Like if there were flies in a room, they all suddenly stopped and froze. And they almost realized that I became aware of them. And the minute I did that, I felt sort of like a personal power come back to me.
Is this when you were 14 or
It
now?
happened to me when I was 14, and it happened to me again yesterday.
So you took control of your emotions. That's good.
And
You realize.
He neo'd that shit.
I'm calling
There you go.
shenanigans. I'm putting my hands
No, dude,
down.
I shit you not. I shit you not. And it tried to play me again and throw something else that was unrelated to try to plague me again, but it couldn't do it. It was on some Matrix shit, just like that, where Neo does that with the numbers and all that. Literally, that's what happened to me.
Okay, I'm going to stand on the other side of this room. I'm going to take my phone and throw it at you.
Dude.
And then you do your Neo stuff. I'm
So-
going to debunk
He was being
This
figurative.
is-
I know. I'm
This
just
is
messing
big
with
shit, though. Like,
I'm
this is
messing
big
with
shit. Like,
yeah.
that moment, I hadn't felt it since I was 14. And when it happened to me when I was 14, it allowed me to release a lot of anger that I had as a kid. And it happened again recently. And this time I was able to let go of like my abandonment issues and like other things that hurt. It was no longer anger, but what I never resolved was like fears and hurt. I never let that go. And I recently finally was able to let it go. And it's changed my fucking life, man. Because I never addressed my hurt, only my anger.
Now you're talking about something in particular, or just hurt and anger in general?
It's general,
so
right?
a lot of the particular things that I was dealing with were sourced from something that was not necessarily particular, but something that built up over the lifetime that I've lived. You know, like a lot of things just accumulated, and I never addressed them. Only my anger I ever addressed.
Wait, but you didn't.
I never really addressed my hurt. Like,
because nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to go there because they'll just get more angry and they're like, I just don't want to deal with that right now.
And I just kept looking at it because I remember saying, I was like, I'm so glad I don't have like a need to, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I'm so glad I don't have a habit of drinking or smoking, because I would literally be in a fucking ditch right now, the way I'm feeling, right? I drink a little too much coffee, but overall I was like, fuck. And so I started meditating and doing all the shit that I've read about but never applied. And I thought it wasn't working until I started writing like poetry and shit to get my thoughts together. And I never write poetry, but I actually did it, and it was helping me out a lot. And then I was trying to go to sleep, it wasn't working, and that's when like I had the flurry of thoughts and fucking like mosquitoes in a room, and that's when my awareness kicked in, because I was asking for that in my meditation, and all of a sudden, boom, I suddenly had personal power. I don't even know how to explain it to you.
There you go. Just use it. Don't let go of it.
Right, letting that awareness, like it made me realize I'm literally the person listening. Not the. It reminds me of an old story where there was this god was hanging out with other gods in like space or whatever, right? However you want to picture it, and they were looking down on Earth, and one of the gods was like, look at how carefree that one pig there is living, just living a pig life. Like, look at how awesome that is. They were like, as opposed to us having to manage all of this and be in such control of ourselves, I'm going to go down there and live that life. They were like, you kind of evolved from that. You don't need to do that. He goes, yeah, whatever. Guy goes down, or the god goes down there and enters the pig and suddenly gets amnesia and starts to live a pig life. And it's living his pig life, and it ends up getting a pig wife and end up having pig kids. And then the gods are like, hey, it's time for you to come back up. We've got work to do as evolved forms. And it's like, what are you talking about? I'm a fucking pig. I've got a pig wife and I've got pig kids. They're like, no, you're not really. And we hate to do this, but we're going to have to remind you. And so then something very similar or akin to the story or the book of Job starts to happen, where they sort of suddenly create a plague, and the pig kids die. And the pig is in like emotion, and it's sad. And they're like, why is this happening to me? Then they take away the wife, and he's like, wow, like what's the tragedy to this? Or she's like, why is this a tragedy? And then it falls ill, and then it dies. And then the god is freed and comes back up. And it's like, holy shit, I thought I was a pig the whole time. I was a god. You know what I mean? And it's very similar to that.
So you're
experience.
a god.
So I'm basically a god.
Just fucking you.
I knew there's the end point to this where I knew we were getting to.
No, I think my mentality is that we are our own gods. People,
what's up?
No, it's
I've
true.
been saying that for years.
I mean, we can do whatever we want. Like literally, we have our own destinies. But while people say, this is luck or this is this, no, it's you made this.
Right.
Every step in life that you do, it's your own. Every mistake you do, it's you. Every time you hurt somebody, it's you. Every time you get hurt, it's you. So you gotta own yourself. You gotta understand that this is my life. I have the power to live a happy life, but I have to take control of everything.
Yeah.
I cannot rely on people.
Be the master of your own universe.
That's true.
That's. I've been following that creed for years and years. And
look at you now,
Look at me
CEO
now,
of the company. Nice.
No, I'm not CEO.
It does. See, as long as a person is happy, you could be, poor, living in a pond somewhere. As long as you're happy, this is your life. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have all the things. This is how the society gives you. You have to have a lot of money. You're going to be happy. Money does make you happy to a point where you have way too much money and you get bored from it.
And then you kill yourself.
And then you kill yourself. Literally, there's, people that are emotionally not, strong enough with all that money. They like, what do you do in life? Like,
you start an
They no longer
organization.
I hate to say it, but look at somebody.
Yeah.
Look at somebody like Anthony Bourdain.
Dave
He was
reference.
fucking rich. Yeah. Oh well, yeah.
That was the
Never
start
mind.
of his special.
Dave Chappelle did say that.
Well,
But
I mean,
Anthony Bourdain was fucking rich.
Mhm.
He fucking would hang out with rich people,
Travel
eat the
all
best
over the
food.
world.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, and he just offed himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then wasn't there somebody else who had that lifestyle too?
So-
Robin Williams.
So many people,
Yeah,
so many
people.
celebrities.
Robin
And it
Yeah.
really is about, identifying yourself as the pig or as the emotions or as the thoughts, and not realizing that you're the observer, not what is being observed.
See, the key in life, I think, is it's all about controlling your emotions. It's all about, like, it's kind of weird, but sometimes I like to smoke some weed and put myself, because you get paranoid when you smoke weed, you know, sometimes.
I have
definitely
yet
do.
to get to that. I really want to smoke enough where I get paranoid like mad crazy.
But
But I haven't.
Talk to
Like-
me afterwards, buddy. We'll take care of you. I'll take care of you. Don't worry.
But what I like to do, I like to like imagine situations, like fucking crazy situations. Like, what if, you know, an earthquake happened right now and everything goes down and everybody dies? What would be my life would be like? And I kind of, when you're high, you emotionally, you go through all that stuff. And I just come up with weird situations, and I emotionally
kind of shit are
live
you
through that.
smoking?
That's
You
some
put
awesome.
yourself through
You
it.
put
He's in the
yourself
book of
through it.
Eli.
He's
No,
fucking
and it's-
smoking the
it's-
ickiest of icky.
It's like literally you get into that and you're all paranoid. You're like, holy shit, I need to like stop smoking, first of all. But it does make you stronger, because emotionally, every time emotionally you go through something, you already know how it feels like, you know how to react to that. So
Protocols. Yeah.
protocols. So,
That's the
you know,
fucking secret, man.
dude, I go through like, I imagine like the weirdest shit ever. And then I'm like, okay, you know, after that, you kind of take everything in your head and, you know, it's fine. I think you emotionally get stronger
bring
like
up
that.
something really strong that I remember. There was a book I read called Willpower. It was like an old ass book. Like, I don't even know if anybody can find it anymore. I don't even remember the author, but it said one exercise to get, because I was looking for a way to be motivated, and it says one exercise to do is to put yourself, like, in the morning or at night, picture everyone you loved either dying, dead, or in need of your help, and you're not able to help them, and remember what that feels like, and then realize that that's not happened yet for the most part, and that you do have the opportunity to do something about that.
Yeah.
And now get up and do
Yeah,
something.
you know, you would take a lot of things for granted. Like when we're at the, you know, some people start making enough money, they're comfortable. They get to a comfortable zone. Same in relationships. This is why guys stop working out, you know, buying flowers for their wives, because you get into a comfortable zone. And
As we all look at
Igor was
Joe.
like, hey, bro, it's your life.
and you know, it should
He's
be
living good.
as long when you realize that I'm good right now, like I'm happy, I'm comfortable, get the fuck out of there, get out of your comfort zone, and you know,
Don't be happy.
no, you're gonna get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You're gonna become more happier
Okay.
because you're not evolving. You're stuck at your comfort
Yeah,
zone.
you're gonna
not.
continue to improve yourself.
It can be
Yeah.
greater happiness.
It could be
by
greater
expanding
happiness,
that.
yeah. But you know,
Wait a minute. When do you have to stop, or do you just keep going
No,
forever?
because
You just keep
happiness
going,
just gets
man.
greater.
Okay.
You're forever changing, forever
keep
evolving.
evolving.
But
Keenan.
is the
This
end goal
isn't
is to
even
be
my final form.
is the end goal is to be happy? Because if the end goal is to be happy and be happy with yourself and everything around you, and then you achieve that and say don't do that, go to something even higher than that. What I don't see the point of.
Well, I mean,
like
to each their own.
it seems like you're
You're
endless
well.
cycle.
There's it's like in life, you know. There are bad times in life. There are good times in life. It's like a pattern that everybody goes through. It's never, you know. I've never met anybody that said I've been happy for 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
Never. Like people
Yeah.
go through shit. People
Also, don't confuse happiness for complacency, because you'll get complacent, you'll get comfortable, and think that that's happiness. That's not necessarily happiness. You're just doing well.
And what Igor's getting at is don't settle for complacency.
Yeah.
Right, but I know it took us this long to get to that statement. It wasn't
Peter
firstly
was
presented.
like, I just want semantics to be proper.
That's right.
You fucking
Get
suck,
your words
man.
straight, all right? You guys all went to college.
Hey,
didn't
Keenan,
go
do you have
to
any
college.
complaints this week about anything?
Suck my dick. How about that? You haven't done it in a while. That's my complaint.
It's never happened. So
Well,
fuck
maybe if you
you.
dressed up a little more.
Well, maybe if you
Fuck
got yourself
you.
a little ready, comb your fucking hair, you fucking ass.
Oh, you know what?
hey,
We're
hey.
about to start. Let me turn this off again.
No.
I don't think you were supposed to turn that off.
No, thankfully
Pop?
it did, but it's.
I didn't see it pop.
That'll
Yeah,
be
it did
fine.
pop.
It'll be fine. I heard it, but it'll be
Yeah, I
fine.
heard the pop.
You can hear these nuts
It's-
in your
I'll
mouth.
just,
How
I'll
about
just
that?
erase you from the episode. It's
I don't
okay.
care.
You're
You can erase
done.
me from life. I'm complacent.
No,
You're such an asshole.
That's-
I
that's-
learned it from you.
That's
welcome.
big stuff. And you know what? I think I think it's interesting that your natural inclination to break shit up and like blow it up and rip it apart and put it back together kind of directly correlates to the way you perceive like your relationship with yourself, your relationship with the world around you, and your relationship with the people you love. Like
That's
it's about breaking it up, putting
Yeah,
it together.
yeah.
You know
He's
what I
like,
mean?
well, goddamn.
No, well, I like to understand things. When I don't understand something, it doesn't make sense for me. So I have to understand it.
Right.
So whatever, I'm curious, like, why are we breathing? So I would read about it, like what's going on in our bodies, and
Just to have that.
just to have
It's a
that
curiosity. You
knowledge.
just fucking
Yeah.
Here's a question. Why did you want to be on the pod?
Boom,
That was
boom.
surprising to me.
I thought you asked.
I don't
him.
know.
No, he
Just-
actually reached out
Which
to
is
me and was like, yo,
badass.
yeah.
Oh,
I was listening to you guys, I was like, that's kind of cool. But then again, I like to try new things in life,
Exactly.
Well, that's fucking dope. It would have never occurred to me to have Igor, and he's a
Some
fucking
friend you
interesting-
are for 10 years.
That's why it's baffling to me. I was like, why did I never think to ask Igor if he wanted to be on the
So
podcast?
you wanna know the
You're
level?
probably thinking about that already in your mind.
That-
There you
Yeah,
go.
probably.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, it's because we're elevated. We're on a different level.
Oh,
so,
really?
you know,
Is that why you didn't communicate?
form of
with him?
communication?
Okay.
No. But yeah, that was just surprising to me.
Gave
that-
you an oh really like yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. But that was just surprising to me. I was like, oh shit, you want to be on the pod? Yeah, man, hell yeah.
So you've listened to what from the beginning, and you're like, or you just came in at some point, you're like, oh, that was a great episode.
I listened to a bunch of episodes. And
Oh, okay.
I was like, that's kind of interesting.
The dope, man.
Yeah.
Dope.
We say a lot of dumb shit.
I
but
mean,
I'm glad you-
definitely.
A lot of sucking dicks and balls and things like
a lot
that.
of sucking dick.
I don't know. You guys should probably talk to each other about that. There's a lot of interest.
In the middle of all that
let's just say-
balls, dick sucking, somewhere in there is some insight.
Yeah, we'll get
There
to
is.
it.
We do
Yeah.
have a lot of insight, man. We're just a very tight knit group. We're three of us.
That's
There's-
good. I can.
You
feel the
don't
energy.
know where one begins and one ends. But
That's
I'm
the
usually
point of
in
an
the back.
orgy.
Oh,
Dude,
Keenan.
I don't think I'd ever have the guts to actually be in a fucking orgy though.
Would
man.
you
It's
do
like
that?
too
Would
much.
you
It's
go into
too
an
fucking
orgy?
much.
I mean,
like Burning Man type
before
shit.
you met your wife.
He was like, well, let's talk about that.
Why do you think you cannot do an orgy even with the wife?
Oh,
Hey.
hey! Shout out. Does she listen to this podcast?
I'm pretty sure. She
Oh,
does.
An
okay.
open mind.
She will. She will listen to this episode. That's for sure. He's like,
If they're cool with it, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, man.
hey, some are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like when you watch shows, like one of my favorite shows on Netflix is Easy, and there's a period in this marriage where they've been married for like 18 years, and then they decided to finally like open up to maybe seeing other people as long as they're completely honest about what's going on. And in my head, I'm like, that's like one of my biggest fears is getting into a long-term relationship and like just you guys just don't care for each other anymore. Like it just you're too tired or whatever.
But
and like,
see, it may not be like that. It may like be just what I was talking about being happy and then content and complacent. That's literally the example of where I was coming from. Where, you're all saying that you should,
continue to strive for more.
yeah, or of Joe's example of that happiness. Don't confuse happiness with content. And in your example with this married couple, that's for how many long years, you're saying that you can't understand how they could split, but maybe that's an example of being content
complacent.
and then or complacent.
Like accepting the relationship for what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
but
think
you're
the idea
for,
of them opening up to other people while still being together was their way of trying to fix what's going on in their relationship.
but it might not be a fix. That's what I'm saying. Like it could be.
It could,
It could be the example of what he's talking about.
It could ruin the relationship. Sure, it just depends on.
I think it does though.
I didn't see the next season. After
Oh yeah,
that. But yeah, because it opens it up to potentially them meeting somebody else.
Yeah.
who they're more compatible with.
Right.
But then again, it's life.
And,
It
and,
is.
and I don't think
It
it's
is,
about
though.
compatibility. Like one of my things right now is like you now have the benefit of experience with each other, of knowing each other's styles of making mistakes.
Yeah.
And I mean there are like very few things that are unforgivable or things that can't be surmounted in a relationship so long as the people are willing to do it, like to work on it, like you said, having protocols for it and shit. Right. So, but I'm trying to get to the bottom of what Keenan's saying because I feel like it's not being heard. And I want to clearly understand what you're getting at between.
I'm trying to relate your definition of this whole happiness and changing to Joe's definition of not confusing happiness with complacency to the example that you gave of how you can't understand how these two people want to go off and see other people. Where I'm thinking that is an example of two people who might be who are complacent in their not complacent complacent in their relationship, and is trying to do his example of changing and growing and being happier, which you agreed to both of their statements, but now you're saying you don't understand how these group can do it.
I don't understand. I didn't say that I don't understand. What I'm saying is it's a fear of mine that's something that it seems almost inevitable that at some point after so many years of marriage that you really just no longer excite each other.
But I mean, if you're going to change throughout life, and like now you're fearing it, and 5 years are going to be not fearing that.
Right, because it might just be the reality.
It might be the reality. So
right.
Yeah,
your opinions change like almost 5-10 years old, whatever. I guess
that's what I'm saying. You're full of shit right now.
I'm definitely not the same person.
We're all
I was
full of
10
shit.
years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little more full of shit than most.
Yeah. Well, I can't.
Yeah, you agree with me?
Yeah. But the understanding about yourself changing or growing, I feel like it's always been about that's the perception of what others give to you of your change. Like I don't know how you can tell yourself you change.
You're talking about now.
Oh yeah.
Like the
people,
last. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The last episode, we had started a conversation where Keenan told me that he feels like he hasn't changed much since college.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is why you're like, yeah, I get that people pursuing this growing in complexity and growth in character, and you're saying like I kind of just feel like I've been the same person since college is what you've been.
Yeah.
And that you're okay with that, right?
Yeah, and I'm basing that off of when you feel like you've changed because it's you, and the whole thing about when you were saying if
you're the voice inside your head
who's listening, that I am now not understanding how someone can notice their self change if it's not based off on what people have seen you before, and then they meet you again and go, "Oh, you've changed."
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we notice our own evolution because we're living it.
I think that's what I'm trying to say.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
you don't notice that you change. It's again when people see you and they're like, "Oh shit, you've changed."
Right,
like your mentality changed and things like that.
Right.
That's true.
You just don't notice it because you're living it.
That's
You're living it.
That's why I feel like
someone who's known you for a long time. Has Keenan changed over the years?
No, he hasn't changed at all. No, actually, he has.
The one
he has. You know, I'll tell you one thing that Keenan has changed in is his shit.
I'll probably
no. I think he's a lot more. I think he's a lot braver.
Yeah,
his vocalization. I think he's more,
which I would agree to.
Well, right. You were also you guys.
Yeah,
were
he
there.
used to be very closed. He used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm the one who set it off. Actually.
Oh, you're gonna take credit on this one now?
No,
okay.
I mean, you know,
I remember the story.
Usually, it is somebody from the outside that does change you. So
it is Joe Cham. I mean,
this guy right here.
I've already admitted it on the podcast and to pretty much everybody I meet. Like I was that nerd who sat in the classroom during lunch watching everybody outside the window have fun until he came along. He's like, Keenan, you know, I've known him since 6th grade. So in high school, he's like, why don't you hang out with me senior year or pretty much close to senior year. And then that's when I became more watchful of the people around me and started mimicking sort of styles and mentalities that people like or found funny or humorous. And from that,
just to be more adventurous and outspoken. You're definitely a lot more outspoken than you used to be, for sure.
Yes,
hands
yes,
down.
I am. Yes.
Hands down.
Yes,
so
for sure. But the other stuff that we won't talk about,
right.
I can't. No, but there's some other things that I think I've been saying.
Your thing is that you think from college you haven't changed.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. So because thanks to Joe and this outspokenness in college, that sort of expanded a little bit, but I wouldn't say as much as one may think. You know, because I was in college, you know, over 20 years ago. So,
I mean, think of the challenges you faced.
Not over, under, just almost. Sorry.
Think of the challenges you faced since, like, the jobs that you've gone through, the apartments you've had to change. Like, all those things have changed you. Whether we can see it or not, they've definitely changed you.
But I feel like if I run into the same errors or mistakes, under the definition I think you gave in the beginning of the podcast, you haven't really learned much, and which result in that you haven't really changed much.
Well, do you run into the same mistakes in your life as Okay, you should probably
done.
think about that.
Yeah.
You should probably
Yeah.
sit down, like smoke
He's
some
like, it's
weed.
like
I
the
don't know, whatever you do,
Exactly.
masturbate.
Thanks to this guy, I do smoke weed now.
He's like, I gotta run into the same
But
three,
again,
three mistakes all the time.
Yeah.
Like you guys are friends. You need
Yeah.
to tell each other that too. You know, if your friend makes a mistake, don't just sit there and be like, well, you know, and if you're doing something, you can't be protective about it. You know, if your friend is telling you something, don't say, hey man, fuck you. You know, you're fucked up your life. I'm not going to fuck up my life.
Yeah.
But, you know, friends are always looking out for each other. So you got to listen to your friends, and friends need to speak out too.
Well, he definitely listened to me when I got him his current job at Eckers.
Get the fuck out of here. God damn it, Keenan.
I have to.
No.
It's a good drinking game we play.
You're right about that though. Like as someone who's really a friend will call somebody out and be like, dude, like
yeah.
and say it with tough love.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
Be kind of harsh, but that's the reality. You know, it's like these are your friends. They don't want to hurt you. So they're trying to help you out. So don't take it personally.
Yeah.
And then it's
So
like,
you guys can start. I don't know, Joe.
They won't.
The
They
thing with
can't.
Keenan though is that Keenan admittedly says that like a lot of people try to give him advice, but like he's tried to put it to the test, and it isn't always fucking like what he needed.
Which is why I challenge a lot of the things that I hear and see. Almost like you in curiosity. I get my answers from curiosity of challenging the status quo and the question and finding out who's ever given me that. I'll still seek it out like you.
How do you challenge it? Like
Just recently, like we just spoke about, where we're talking about Philly's mental state, you know, and what he developed at 14 to what he developed now, as well as we were talking about the whole change. Now I saw it as like some crazy cycle. So I'll put out my questions like, wait a minute, that doesn't make
You'll
sense
play the
to me.
devil's
Like,
advocate.
explain a little bit more of your So I would do that.
Okay.
But I would also occasionally, if something does spark my interest, I'll go and research it. But
yeah, I mean, the technology we have right now is the internet.
Yeah,
a lot of things, like when people go through mental health issues, and there's the mental health helpline.
It's a real thing, yeah.
But I think the best thing is people don't actually use the internet that they should be using.
Which
like,
I agree to.
What do young people do? Go on Instagram, like just
Post.
bullshit,
Yeah.
like entertainment.
Yep.
But there's so much information. If there's like a marriage problem, there's something going on in your marriage, and you're like, oh fuck, how do I deal with that? I call my mom, or like, you don't do that. You go online, you go to forums, you read through
Other people's stuff.
you have to like really invest in that. It's an issue you want to solve. You got to read, because
I totally do that.
all of the issues we have, everybody, like, I've never met a person that was different with their own issues,
because we are now more freely putting it out there.
Like people talk, and it's like
Here's what I did.
my wife is like fucking angry at me for not taking out the garbage. And I'd be like 500 people with the same issue,
right?
And people would be like, well, this is how I solved it. Been with my wife for like 10 more years, and you gotta listen, you gotta look for those answers, but you also have to filter out the bad stuff.
Right, because we're talking about people here.
Yeah,
and
we're
people
talking
are
about
very
people. Like somebody will go online and like emotion, like, I fucking hate this, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So you can't just read one article.
Right.
You gotta read like shitload of articles and combine all of them together, and whatever makes sense to you, take that.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
I love it.
So I'll be looking forward to Phillies and Joe's Oprahing me later.
I'm not. I don't
See.
I'm
knew
not
it.
gonna do it.
But you guys shouldn't
Here's
be
the
afraid
thing,
of
though.
doing that.
No. Here's the thing, though. And I think we even had a conversation about this yesterday after you had already left.
Oh, you're talking about me after I left, you fucking bitch.
What are you talking about? You and I
talking
were
about-
no, we weren't together.
No, we weren't.
Yesterday?
No, last week.
Oh, last week.
All right,
Um,
ladies and gentlemen, take my dick out and put it.
But no, what my thing is that I don't feel like Keenan already gets it from so many people that people try to tell him what to do. That I'm like not gonna be that dude that tells him what to do.
Which I
because
like.
it's
Why?
not my place.
You're his friend.
I am his friend, and
Closest one.
and the moment he decides to ask me for my
No,
advice,
never,
that's
never.
when I'm gonna do it.
That you should not wait for people.
You can't fucking tell me what
No,
to do,
you
Igor.
can't.
No, but here's no. I've known Keenan for so long that I feel I don't need to do that for him because he already gets it from so many people that
By the time I get to Joe, it's like, not again.
yeah, having me be the guy that's the bad guy, because that's really what it is in the end. Like he already gets so much quote unquote advice from people trying to quote unquote better his life, that I'm not going to be one of those voices that
which is 100% true.
But do those people know as good as Joe does?
Nah, probably not.
So why would you
No.
take advice from a person that doesn't know you as well as this person?
That is debatable. Sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. But whether or not it's given to me is always 100% in that mentality or mode. So I'll just sit at a bus stop, and all of a sudden, this lady next to me will start talking to me about things I need to change or do out of nowhere. And I'm
Okay.
like, I have no idea why you're telling me I should get better shoes or something like that, or personality stuff. And I think, and maybe to Joe's credit, I would go to him and rant and complain about all these other people giving me the advice, and he would see that and probably take it into what he does now.
I give him my 2 cents, but
He'll
it
do it.
isn't until it's like in a situation where
Till I'm ready.
we naturally have a conversation about it, and or he like says something and asks me directly, like, "Yo, what do you think?"
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, "All right, well, I mean, try to do this."
But it is rare, Igor, that I would get a question from Joe about, "Hey, how you doing?" Which you're starting to do more often.
But
though.
here's the thing, even with a suicidal person,
Yeah.
like a lot of suicidal people will commit suicide, and the parents will be like, "I had no idea they had issues." It's like, have you talked to your kid? No, I've been working. Well, you're a bad fucking
Right.
parent right there.
Yeah. Same thing with all the kids who like shoot up schools or something like that.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to go hard on you, but this is
please
the same.
do. I want to see it all on Joe.
This is the same thing with friendship. If you see your friend is going through something, or you need to talk. It's like, hey, how are you doing? Like, how are things doing? Like even with my coworkers or people and my friends, I see. I usually talk to them and they're acting weird. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, well, and they're like, I don't know. Like, everything's good. I'm like, I don't think so. I know you. Like, talk to me, and people start opening up, because you can't have that sit inside of you. You gotta open up.
Which I think I mentioned to Joe, I'm trying to do a lot more, because we did have a little bit of a kerfuffle earlier, which he handled it out really nicely. Which I wish all of my other
a couple
friends,
weeks ago.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Oh, the one where we got
back in yeah. So me and Joe had like a little bit of tit for tat kind of thing, a quid for quoi, and but the way the way it was handled was in a way where I think you'd probably appreciate as a longtime friend Joe is. And then
we turned it around
and we fuck with Philly. But I mentioned to him afterwards.
This podcast is over. I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on?"
Yeah. As I mentioned to Philly and Joe, is that or at least to Joe privately, that I am trying to be more expressive, because even if he does ask me, like, you've met at work, how you doing? I'm just like, I'm fine. It's okay. It's cool. Then no solution ever gets solved.
Yeah.
It has to be both ways. Someone has to ask and someone has to answer.
Right. Yeah.
So start doing that, Joe. just text. Texting does not take a lot of time.
We're supposed
you don't
to
have
do
to call
that.
people.
We did agree we're supposed to do that
You
to
bring
each
up
other.
something important though, because I've only recently I've always been the person that's been so busy that I never noticed it, that I myself don't do it, and that a lot of people that I so-called think care, and like, not these guys, I see these guys every week,
But I really don't care. So,
but a lot of people that I really thought were important to me, like, I don't remember the last time they ever asked me, "How are you?" And I don't remember the last time I ever asked them, "How are you?" And it made me realize, like, how much do we really care about people?
Yeah, how many of our friends are really our friends, or are they just?
That's true.
Maybe you have a moment with them and then they just become your associates. Or.
So
it's like a relationship. You get
acquaintances.
comfortable.
Yeah.
How long does it
Exactly.
take to get to that level? To the me Joe, to you Joe. Like,
'Cause
how
there-
long does it get to that real?
There's like a nurturing that has to
Well,
happen.
it's like you're growing. It doesn't.
yeah,
You can't
yeah.
say it takes like a month if you do it 4 times a week. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm in a situation where 2 people that I know have known each other for like 12 years, really close, like me and Philly or me and Joe, and something happened and they
Nothing like us. What are you
Split.
talking about?
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it was
Like a couple or friends?
friends,
Okay.
like BFFs,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't like the stereotypical dude got in between them or anything like that. No, it was something trivial, like a lot of relationships are,
Mm-hmm.
but it escalated so much, and then it just went separate ways.
Say it's just I guess one person just didn't want to change. One person
Yeah.
was
Seemed like that.
stubborn. It's just with friendship and relationships was the same shit. You know, one person, you know, you're trying to reach out and you're saying like, hey, you kind of, you know, pissed me off by doing this, and they're like, yeah, whatever. So if that person doesn't want to change, then you can't really help that person. You can't be, you know, aggressive about it, because the more aggressive you are toward that person, you're gonna,
Yeah.
So I mean, just let it go.
The same with the friend showing up and be like, yo, is everything okay? And them going, yeah, everything's fine. And it's like, it takes both people to make it work.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can follow up like, you sure about that? Because I know you.
Yeah.
And if that person says, yeah, just leave him alone.
Oh yeah.
But you know, just
Don't press the issue.
Yeah, don't
like,
press the issue, but
yeah.
let the other person, like, again, texting. You know, we spend so much time on Instagram. Like everybody now, if there's some free time, you get on Instagram, and you can spend that time. You know, it takes like 2 seconds to text somebody like, "Hey, what's up?" Like,
Do you have an Instagram?
I do have an Instagram. I don't post a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, he's the one in the photo, right? In the
Yeah.
car.
That's
yeah,
Facebook
You do
stuff.
not look like on that photo
Yeah.
that we posted
Yeah.
at all.
That's
you
fucked
kinda
up.
look-
You're kind of saying that that he doesn't look like.
Yeah,
his
what does that
image.
He
mean?
looks
What do you
Hispanic.
even mean?
On the photo, you look Hispanic.
On the photo?
Yeah.
No, I put that you
It
look
was
like
a reggaeton vibe.
I put that you look like a European soccer player,
I saw that.
like
Which is
Cristiano
still true,
Ronaldo.
yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
noticed
mean,
an
you do.
accent. I don't want to obviously just connect the dots together because your name's Igor, but your accent and Igor, like, where are you from?
I'm
Please-
from Brazil.
Please
Brazil.
forgive-
Okay.
I'm just kidding. No.
Please forgive
You totally fooled me. I was like, Brazil. Okay, what about Brazil?
Okay, well then, all right. Never heard that
Oh,
accent.
my So where-
I'm Russian.
Russian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking cute. Well, I don't want to connect the dots together, Igor, but that's basically what he did.
I don't want to just assume.
I'm
Igor.
trying to be an American, like, PC. Trying to keep our
PC.
relationship cool, you know?
You know, it's funny. Igor is it's a common name in Brazil.
No,
I've
it
met
is?
so many people named Igor, because Igor, you think like it's kind of Russian,
Yeah,
you know?
or
It's like
yeah.
Vladislav or Ivan,
right.
and you go to like fucking
Vladislav.
Brazil, like Ivan is like the most second popular name. It's like what?
And you speak Russian too? Like
I do,
you're
yeah.
Speaking, okay, that's pretty awesome.
Nimnoga.
Nimnoga, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just showing off.
There you go.
That's
Yank his
all I
dick a
can
little
say.
harder.
That's
Yank his
all
dick a
I
little
can say.
harder,
I
Phil.
remember I threw on a tape, and it was one of those. Excuse me, how are you?
Is there
Oh,
also
yeah.
is there also tension between the Czech Republic and Russia? Oop.
It sounds like our
I
neighbors
didn't-
have.
I didn't know.
So
I didn't know that
something's going
question
on.
was so sensitive. Okay.
Like, wait a minute, isn't this an office space? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The Czech Republic, because I had roommates
No,
that were from the Czech Republic, and
Not
they.
really.
Oh no, okay.
No.
Because from them, it seemed like there was some sort of like tension between the two.
I wouldn't say so. I mean,
Maybe that was just them.
It
just,
could've been.
people.
Could have been, yeah. Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
crazy, man. I mean,
Maybe with the Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah.
He's
But
like, oh yeah, definitely.
Well,
still,
they
it's stupid,
specifically
yeah.
said Russian, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. all
I
that-
don't believe in
Any
fighting.
borders.
I mean, if you just listen to the conversation that we've had with him, like for him, it's not there's very little that seems like you're not willing to work on to make it a harmonious experience.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people out there who will just be like, you know what? That's how they are. They're not going to change. I'm not going to change.
Yeah, yeah.
And then nobody wins.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's true.
You strike me as someone who always wants everyone to win as much as
Mhm,
possible.
mhm.
Winning.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the name of this episode.
Winning.
Winning.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Keenan
Mark
is in the
that.
group. Keenan- We'll call it. I don't want to connect the dots, Igor.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that
Wow.
one.
Good. That's a good title.
Damn it. All right.
Hey, I like that. Mark that.
Yeah, you better remember.
I don't
I'm
wanna
not
connect
writing
the
it down.
dots,
Fuck you
Igor.
guys.
Speaking of connecting the dots,
Yeah.
Spider-Man is staying in the MCU.
Oh, it is nice.
Yeah.
Because out of
super
all the
excited.
outrage and anger, so this is like a good example of like the public actually making a change
Yeah.
in our system.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd like to think that the studios kind of realize, look, we're gonna kind of make a little more money if we make one more.
Yeah, I think
right.
it's more of a money issue.
But-
Yeah, but
Okay.
it'd be nice
Fuck
to
the
think.
people.
It'd be nice to think that the fans also
The outrage,
had
yeah.
had a say in it.
Oh,
like,
Sony
yo,
wanted to
come
pull
on.
Spider-Man out.
Yeah, they were.
wanted
Gonna,
to-
it had already happened. They were like, nope, we're not gonna agree to any
Because
deal.
you know
with that.
Disney's evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, it's
they're
true.
about to
Even
take
though they
over
make
so
some of
much
the
shit.
best entertainment in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then does that mean that is X-Men gonna finally enter the Marvel universe?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
I want
I
to
think
see
so.
Wolverine and Captain America fucking smash some heads in. You know
I don't
what
think it's gonna be Hugh Jackman though. He's
Yeah,
too old.
he's
Yeah.
really
He-
trying to get out
He
of
can't
it.
be pumping those steroids
Yeah.
anymore. You know?
He's done.
Yeah.
Well,
That
you know, if they
veiny
need
bastard.
a Mexican Wolverine, you know, I'm just the right height. You know what I mean? I can
You,
cut the.
you
need
know who
some
they're considering? What's his name? Taron Egerton
Taron
from
Let me look this dude up.
Oh wait, from the Kingsman? Oh yeah.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
considering him to be the
Oh.
He
next
could be a
Wolverine.
Wolverine, I
Why,
think.
He'd
why,
be a dope
why
Wolverine.
why are all the European, not European, why are the London blokes taking all the American jobs? They're
Yeah.
taking our jobs. Bar none. They have far more acting experience than most of the actors in LA who want to make it. Like,
Based on whose reference and perspective, Philly. I mean, come
I
on.
mean, no, if you look at their resumes,
Yeah.
like, their shit, like they stay working, but also there's like TV licenses out there, and like there's a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for? Subsidies of the government that sort of encourage a cultural development. Whereas like out here, it's Hollywood, and you're either a part of it or you're eating shit and working hard until eventually it works for you. You know, and most people just spend their whole lives auditioning and never working on independent projects. And like I'm learning that I don't know why not more. I don't know why more actors don't just engage in independent films and shit like that because
Well, money, right? There's not a lot of money for those actors. They're trying to make an earning
that's
off
not
of
the
it.
point of it though. Like especially if yes. And what I'm saying is like if circumstances are as they are, and the reality is that theater isn't something that people really go to in LA. Like nobody fucking cares about theater in LA, and you want to make it in LA.
I think a lot of people do go to theater.
Really.
Yeah,
There's a good. I mean,
I have a good amount of friends that go to theater,
Shit.
like random plays and things like that.
Yeah.
if you go to the Fringe Festival that happens, which is
Oh,
like
that's right.
yeah,
we walked by
Fringe
it
is
one
like-
time, right?
it's a big.
Well, no, it's not one thing. Fringe
It's all up
is
and
like
down.
all of Santa Monica.
Mhm.
They do like 20 different theaters. and
It's
have, like,
it's like the
hundreds of
off Broadway shows at like a ton of select theaters.
Right.
We don't have a Broadway area. We're kind. I mean, LA's a
Right.
big city. We're
like
kind of
Fiddler
scattered
on
out.
the Roof isn't playing.
Yeah.
You know what
No,
I
but we'll have Chicago and Saigon and all that
I
stuff.
think. I think Once on This Island is playing at the Pantages soon.
the Pantages.
Pantages has
that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's
I mean, we have a lot of theaters here, though. We
do,
a
yeah.
lot of them.
Maybe I'm just an uncultured swine. And
I think
have no
that's what it
idea.
is.
Yeah, you gotta get out there, man.
There's a
You're
lot.
too
of,
Hollywood.
yeah. There's a lot of small theaters. I mean, shit, you know me and the
That's
people that I
true.
hang out with.
That's right.
there's a lot of things going on in LA. It just a lot of people don't know about it.
They
Yeah,
just don't
they
go
don't.
out there.
Plays, concerts.
That's
Man.
what I've been saying.
Like,
I've
for-
been saying
For like
that.
Halloween, there's so many things going on, and everybody's like, "You want to go to Universal?" I'm like,
Universal.
"Are you
Why would
fucking
you go to
kidding me?"
Universal?
Like,
Or,
there's so many like more interesting things
What
Or
are,
going
what
West
are some things
Hollywood?
that people can do for Halloween? Well, the listeners
There's
can,
there's the not parade, but the West Hollywood. You know, they close down the streets
yeah,
for that.
yeah, yeah,
That's a big one.
There's a lot of people are taking these old houses and turning them
To
into
haunted
like,
houses?
yeah, like
Yep.
mini plays or something.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah, like
There's mazes
unsolved
too.
Murder mysteries and shit.
Yeah,
Yes.
murder
You could go do
mysteries.
Murder
yeah.
mysteries. You
Yeah.
could do
Escape
escape
rooms.
rooms.
There's this play in New York. My wife and I went to. It's I forgot the name.
Whoa! We're talking about Los Angeles here. You bringing in New York?
yeah,
now.
yeah,
No, he's saying
but
it's
it's coming here. So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is it's becoming really popular here. It's basically it was a Shakespeare play.
like Hamlet, Othello.
Hamlet,
Oh,
yeah.
Hamlet. Wow.
And it was they took this warehouse. It's like 3-4 stories high, and there are different rooms. Like there's a forest, there's a fucking cemetery.
Oh, shit.
Oh wait,
And-
is it interactive?
So they
It's
moved the
well,
scenes?
you basically you follow the actors, the lead actors.
Cool.
And there's like it's for adults. Like there people are like having sex on tables, naked.
What?
There's bloods. Like it's really,
Whoa.
really visual.
they did this in
Damn.
Broad City.
Yeah.
and one of the episodes.
Well, it's just based in New York.
I gotta
Yeah,
go see
yeah.
this
Mhm.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta
So
check
a
it
lot
out.
of companies are doing that. It's a lot of money.
mm-hmm.
So they're taking all these like old houses and turning them into plays
That's
or
cool.
something interactive. So, you go in, you pay, and you basically follow people, your actors, the lead actors, and maybe like 5-10 lead actors. And and the cool thing is you can go there more than once because you never get to experience everything at the same time.
Get different angles.
But the cool thing, like with the New York play, is there would be times where all the actors meet at the same place. So all the people, like, there was this rave where, like, honestly, something out of a Blade movie where there was blood everywhere. Everybody was naked having sex. Not everybody, but
it was like a
Wait,
Stanley Kubrick movie.
were they having like real sex though? Like P and VG?
I don't know, man.
Because I'm not sure how.
They had dick socks on.
I mean, like, it's not illegal to do that, right?
No, I don't know.
And that's not technically, it's not public nudity, and as long as there's a notice that there is going to be nudity.
Yeah.
Well, okay, right. I mean, like, if let's say, for instance, I rented out a house.
Kitty's like, I just want to make sure I don't get arrested if I go to this.
I'm just curious. This is
as long as you don't join, I think they can do it.
The actors can do it, but it's not like
oh, you should have told me it was a party.
All right.
It's not porn. It's not considered pornographic under the legal
It's
standards,
art,
right?
right? It's a play.
Interesting. The ways that we get around certain rules and regulations
do you
is crazy.
subscribe to any like newsletters, or how do you learn about stuff like this?
Facebook.
Nice. You just look at the events
yeah.
that are coming
You
out,
look
right?
like the events, what's going on, and you got to do your research.
You know what's funny is there is a whole like events thing there that I never look at.
You don't.
It's really good, to be honest with you. It's really
Yeah.
good. Yeah. It's just people get lost because there's so much shit going on. And like, there's a lot of things going on. Like,
your
I don't know.
friends are always inviting you to shit you know you're not gonna like.
Yeah.
Do you find that out a lot here in Los Angeles, or since you've lived in other places, that a lot of the people here don't go to a lot of events, like close friends, like you invite people, but they're like, maybe I'll go, I'll kind of go, or they'll say they'll go and never show up.
Yeah. Well, the problem is a lot of people would live, you have friends that live in Burbank or something. And in LA, it's like it's a big fucking thing. You're not going to be friends with Burbank. Driving for me, driving out here in Pasadena was a nightmare. It's like going over an ocean.
Damn.
I'm just kidding.
I was like, say, where are you coming
West
from?
LA, the
but
Valley,
you know how people are in LA. Like
Yes,
they say like the dating. If you live in Hollywood, you meet somebody in Santa Monica, it's not going to work out.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of a. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are because there was so much going on in LA that people are picky. You would schedule something and something interesting might come up. You're like, hey, I'm sorry, my grandmother died.
Right.
Even though
For
it's
the
not
fourth
true.
time.
And you see like on Instagram they're partying. It's like, oh, how's the grandmother doing? Oh, I'm sad.
We're having a celebration for her.
Yeah.
It was a private event.
Oh man,
That's true though. It's
true,
hard.
man.
It's hard. It's hard to go to the valley.
Joe never goes to the Valley. I lived in the Valley for a whole
Hardly
year.
ever go to
Hasn't visited me once.
Yeah, that's
Talk
the
about a
thing.
friend
Not
from
there
sixth grade.
There you go.
One whole year.
It's the valley.
I've gone to his house
Well,
every single
why
wherever
would
I
you
live.
go? Is it the traffic or
It's the traffic.
traffic,
It's
bullshit.
the time. It's
the
time too,
weekend.
though.
Don't lie. It's that the friend doesn't mean that much to you.
I know it is.
don't
I'm
even
just
know.
bringing them out on the podcast.
but you gotta pick a time that there's no traffic. Sundays
Easily.
Midnight.
Sunday
Midnight.
mornings,
Midnight.
man, before 11 a.m. There's
Yeah.
nobody on the street. It's dead.
Yeah.
Everyone's recovering from the
Everybody's
alcohol.
recovering. Yeah.
Dude, I go to his house from my place out in the valley just to like play video games and drink.
It's because
and
my
then
crib is
leave.
better. Hmm?
It's fine. See,
Well,
knowing
he's crying, but that was really tears.
No, I've known Joe. See, there's something even for my brother. When I notice a pattern, and I told Philly this of certain traits, not so much personality, just traits of. It doesn't have to be specific of what I'm trying to describe here, but just any type of pattern in general. I will take my own actions towards it. So, as an example, knowing that Joe rarely goes out to the Valley or visits several people out in the Valley because he has family out in the Valley. I don't invite him out to my house because, like, why would I do that? But it's not an F you, I hate you kind of thing. It's more like energy and effort and time and all that stuff. It's like if you see something on a consistent basis over a long period of time. I don't mean like 3 weeks or 4 weeks or something like that. I'm talking like months to years. You don't have to go. If this happens 9 times out of 10, maybe the 10th one will work. It's more likely that you're going to be like, 99 out of 100. Like it's going to be a lot more than that.
Here's the fucked up part about this whole LA Valley thing is that I'm more willing to go to, I don't know, Long Beach or, somewhere east,
Anaheim.
Anaheim, that is not in the valley, because technically the valley is only like 20 minutes away.
It's a mountain.
You
That's
just
why.
go, but it's the mountain. It's like literally
It's
you're
the 405 and
traversing
the
a
101.
mountain.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's so weird.
I mean, we used to work with somebody, or Joe still works with somebody that wouldn't leave or rarely left their neighborhood. Just
Yeah.
their own little neighborhood. They
Mhm.
lived their whole life in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's an issue.
When they told me that, I was like, "What?" I was
Mhm.
shocked. I was. I mean,
5-mile radius.
I haven't
Yeah,
really
literally.
traveled myself
Mhm.
out of the country or state that much, and I definitely am sounding like a hypocrite. But it was just like within the own city itself.
Mhm.
I mean, you don't need a passport to go from the.
Yeah,
and it's
sure.
not even
different
the
things.
whole city. It's like a little region
Yeah.
of the city that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Because I came from Russia out here, and for Americans, you can travel with an American passport basically to, I would say, maybe 70% of countries without a visa.
Right.
Like if you want to go to Japan, go to Japan, buy a ticket and go to Japan. You want to go to any European country, like in Russia, we have to get a fucking visa, and we have to prove a lot of things, like I'm not going to go there and, stay there, or, take a lot of things for granted. And a lot of Americans don't travel anywhere. They don't use the power of their passport. You can, it's all like
I don't
Mexico.
even have a
Yes.
passport.
I
Mexico,
think
Canada.
more people go to Mexico than Canada,
Yeah.
because it's just Canada. Why would you want to go to Canada?
What are you talking about?
But
I got love for Canada. What's
I
up, Canada?
understand like there's this ocean, issue, but man,
Yeah.
you can buy a ticket like in October or November. You can go to Paris for like $300.
You really can.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What?
You can, $300,
Yeah.
$400, because November and February are the cheapest months to travel.
Wait, that's when I have to buy the ticket, or when I have
You
to
can
travel.
buy
That's when I have to
when
travel.
you have to travel. You can buy it like right now, and there's so many deals going on.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
November
It's
and
like I need to get a fucking passport.
Well,
man.
I
I
ha-
don't even have my passport.
I have a passport.
Oh, there you
and
go.
I've always wanted to go to Rome.
There you
but
go.
the ticket to Rome is like $2,000 or something like
They're
that.
probably looking at summer, right? Time.
You just
I
gotta go.
ran-
Yeah, you just gotta go.
I gotta write-
off.
I gotta write this down, man. Tell me. Wait, 1 second.
And-
This is
and
serious.
on a Tuesday at 8 p.m. in February through March.
Yeah, on my phone.
Oh, you know what's funny?
Travel.
The companies, they fuck with you. Like if you go to Expedia and you're looking at a ticket and you're like, I'm just gonna wait a bit, and it gets more expensive. Have you guys ever seen that? Like
Yeah.
it'll get more
Yes.
expensive.
Oh yeah.
So I go to the Bay Area still for my clients every 2 weeks.
Oh,
So I
shit,
buy
nice.
the tickets. And I remember I was looking at the ticket, and it was like $150. Then it, like in an hour, it jumps to 180, high demand.
Mhm.
So I'm like, fuck you. I changed my IP. So I have the IP hider and MAC address hider. Change it. It's like $80. I'm like,
No.
fuck you, Expedia.
I need to
Yeah.
get an IP hider because
You
I've
just
seen
get-
that shit
yeah.
happen on Amazon, man.
Yeah.
Clear your cookies. Get an IP hider. All
Yeah.
that shit. And they won't. Be
Oh,
able to
they
track.
manipulate prices like that.
Oh yeah.
This is
um,
all legal stuff they can do
yeah.
to fuck with us.
Well, like
Damn.
when you sign a little contract
'cause
when you
you're-
get your phone.
they own
agree.
you. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like,
God,
we own
yeah.
your dick.
It's so
Really?
they do all
do.
of my
They
dick
really
pics.
want it.
But
Wait, what?
but it's crazy how that is how we
He doesn't send them to
for the
anyone.
longest time I would think the governments or systems would want to control people in a certain way.
It's
And
not the
now
government, it's the corporations.
Mhm.
well, governments have been added on to that too, right? Like they've noticed how the corporations
About the
have
Patriot
made
Act?
it makes it easier
Sure.
for complacency of the people.
Sure.
How
I
it's
never-
now more
I
freely
never read
Mhm.
the agree terms.
that we do it on we give you our own our privacy
Mhm,
and
mhm.
we just hand it away like breathing air
hmm
until something happens.
And everybody
And then we're
freaks
like,
out.
oh, what the hell?
right.
It's
right.
like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that was pretty much it. You can interrupt me all you want. It's these two fuckers that can't.
Anyways, what was he saying?
I was,
Wasn't paying
you
attention.
guys don't like facial recognition, right?
Yeah, I don't have that.
S-
though.
So
Snapchat, Instagram.
Yeah.
San Francisco, all these cities are banning facial recognition, and people are like, "That's my privacy." Blah blah blah. I'm like, you have your phone; it scans your fucking face every day. You go online. There's like bio traces. There's all the traces. Like you go take a shit and knows you're taking a shit.
Yeah.
And people are freaking out about facial recognition. I'm like, this makes no sense.
kind of
They've
already
already
given it up a
they've
long
already
time
got
ago.
it. I would say probably since what early '90s, maybe that they've been already collecting easily information.
collecting data. But I mean, with facial recognition, I mean, imagine having a camera out here. Somebody gets murdered, and their face gets scanned, and you know who did that.
That's a helpful thing.
And you know, and somebody's like, I don't want that in my town, and you know, let the people get murdered. A lot of people don't understand the technology. Every time technology comes in, everybody freaks out.
Right.
Autonomous cars, we're all gonna die and burn in hell.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
And now there's a smooth ride where people just smoke their blunts. You know?
Oh, you saw that? It was fun. And you know, the one accident in the early stages of that automated car system wasn't because of the automated car. It was because of another human being wasn't paying attention to the road.
Yeah.
Hit that
Well,
car.
you got to think about it. How many car accidents has a Tesla had? If you look at the statistics, you know, there would be like maybe, I don't know, 4 per month. How many car accidents do people have?
Yeah.
Tens of thousands a month.
Per hour.
So it's like, why is it news when an autonomous car crashes? It's like, you know, let's talk about all the fucking other car crashes.
That's kind of what's getting me about this whole vape situation.
Oh, the oils.
Yeah, the
I mean,
vape
chemically,
oils
it's
and all
kind of
that
true.
I mean, it's evil. The whole vape industry.
Would you?
It's cancer, basically. You're smoking cancer.
But you're smoking cancer with cigarettes too.
You are. You probably shouldn't be smoking cigarettes.
We're talking about like vape.
But that's
weed
what's
or
funny
vape
to me that you know there'll be like an early death or a death of somebody smoking a vape, but there have been millions of people who have died because they're smoking cigarettes.
That's true.
Yet the industry is booming still.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy that because this new product, you know, because it had an early death, like
it's taking market share,
Which
and
you
the
can-
lobbyists
well,
are fighting
you
back
can
against
probably
it.
count in your hand how many people have died from a vape.
I die in your arms every night.
Well, see, the thing is, oh wow, you guys really need to talk to each other like after this show.
Best friends.
There's definitely something going on there.
But what cigarettes? I mean, the industry is so big. It's like the gun industry. You know, you can't do anything because they lobby so much money into the government. Same with the cigarettes, but with the vaping, what's going on? Like people are dying fast. Like if you're smoking, you know, if you start smoking at, I don't know, 20, you're gonna get lung cancer at like 50. It's a long process, and it's like same thing with sugar and foods. A lot of those foods will give you cancer, but like my dad died from cancer, from pancreatic cancer, and the food he was eating his whole life, that what contributes it. With the vaping, it's like you smoke it for 2 years and you have this disease that's eating at your lungs.
Right.
This is the issue because it's killing people fast.
Too fast.
Too fast.
So
I
There's
imagine,
no profit there.
Yeah,
But
there's
see-
no profit,
but
basically. Yeah,
But
it's
see,
dangerous.
I can imagine that when people first started smoking tobacco and tobacco products, it probably took a while for them to come up with the formula, the formula of mixing all these ingredients to make it happen.
So you're
right?
saying it's like, yo, like, you know, as long
I
as
can
I'm not the
imagine-
one that's dying.
No.
that's-
All I'm saying is I can imagine that
Yeah.
it was the same process when people first started smoking cigarettes because they were putting different.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. The thing with cigarettes is back in the day when people used to smoke cigars, they were actually smoking actual tobacco. Tobacco is not as carcinogenic as if you take a cigarette right now and you break it down into a chemical compound, there will be maybe 5% of tobacco in there.
Right.
Right.
You know, it's like 1,000 times more nicotine. There's addictive additives. There are chemical additives. You got to understand they have to make profit. So what is the fastest, the cheapest way we can make the cigarette? What, like, they put wood pulp in there too. So you know, whatever's cheaper, they're gonna put it into it. So
okay.
back in the day when people used to smoke real tobacco, cigarettes or whatever it was, it's like with marijuana. Actually, you said like vaping weed. That's bad. Like the oils, there's so much carcinogens in those oils. It's not actual weed. It's like it's not THC. With like I smoke, I would just buy weed, like normal back in the day. You roll a joint kind of thing. But the vaping thing, it's extremely bad.
Yeah, it's very dangerous in the sense of chemically those oils, because it's an oil and its element is an oil, that when you smoke it or vaporize it, that it doesn't really vape as in like oxygen or air. It doesn't go away. It actually still, the particles are still in the air. So when it's in your lungs, and it actually goes back to its original state or it condenses back to its form as an oil, it collects in your lungs, and there's a
Fluid.
pile of
It,
oil.
it stays in there. Yeah.
If you and again, if you smoke a lot, but that still is collecting over
Joe's
time,
like, what?
and and it doesn't leave your lungs. You can't.
I have heard about the
You,
fluids.
you
in the
can't
lungs.
breathe or cough out
you,
oil.
You also have to
Yeah.
understand, in order to get that, because when you smoke weed, you get the CBD is good for you, and you get the THC, so you get the best, sides of,
Both
two,
worlds.
Both,
yeah.
Yeah.
With these vape pens, you barely can find any CBD in them. It would be like 2% CBD, 99% THC. And I actually have a lot of friends that are in industry. They're making the oils, and they're like, man, the chemicals they use to extract that oil the process is fucking insane.
Yeah.
It should be illegal to do that. And when you're combining, it's like you guys probably ate like dried fruit, right? Raisins.
Oh fuck! I love dried fruit. Don't tell me.
I'm gonna ruin it
God
for
dang
you.
it.
So
Fuck.
any dried fruits.
Yeah, I love mangoes. Like
Yeah, the dried mangoes.
Back, like, how would you, dry a fruit? Have you ever seen a real dry, like,
No.
raisin?
It tastes really bad.
Well, it's not that. It's the texture, and it's completely different. And it takes a long time to dry fruit. So raisins are fucking cheap, right? So what they do, they bleach the shit out of them. So it goes through a chemical process. So you would take a raisin that would maybe, sit in Italy, Italian sun for like a month, become like a real nice raisin. Here it takes like maybe 5 minutes for it from going to a real raisin to a dried raisin.
Bleach that shit.
They bleach the shit out of it. They dry
So
it.
I'm eating Clorox.
You're eating so many chemicals.
Yeah.
The process of making that dried, fruit is insane.
Damn it! I love
So
dried
any like mango does
Yeah.
not look, dry mango
I
does
thought they
not
were
look
using
like
like a
It
that.
does not.
dehydrator,
It's a
you
different.
know?
It's a different
I
color.
thought they were using like a dehydrator.
No. Dehydrator is expensive to dry dehydrating. Buy your own dehydrator if you
Yeah.
want to do that. But
Yeah.
these companies are making billions or millions of dollars. So the process has to be fast. You have to understand manufacturing processes.
Right.
Same thing for. Would you agree? The same thing may or may not go for a lot of the healthier vegan type stuff that you still see at the store, because that still has to be
Vegan.
processed and put on the shelf, and all that stuff.
Like
So
Impossible Burger and all that shit.
yeah. So little background.
Okay.
Eat my dick. Don't talk about Impossible Burgers.
No, I love them, but I know
And
that there's
I'll
something
talk
wrong.
about that too.
Fuck you. Thank you for coming by, Igor. You've been a
Don't
great
ruin it for
guest.
me. Don't ruin it for
I'm
me.
gonna ruin a lot of things for you
Okay.
guys, but it's the knowledge that you get, and it's I still eat junk food, I still, but it's
Even though yeah.
it's a moderation of things. You can't fucking eat it every day.
Right,
Absolutely.
right.
So a little background: I'm starting a company. It's a fitness company. It's basically fitness plates, fitness equipment. We're making it 100% recyclable. It's really green packaging. It's ergonomically. I don't know if you guys go to the gym and with the
ergonomics.
fitness
Yeah.
plates.
They feel weird, yeah.
They feel like they're not comfortable, and they're bacteria free. So we add a natural additive to it that you basically, you work out, you sweat, and no bacteria is alive. So
Wow.
somebody else picks it up, they cannot get sick or anything from it. And the key function in the company is to educate. Since my father passed away from cancer, I've been really keen on educating people about nutrition, and not like the people you see, on TV. Like it's like some guy's been on steroids for like 10 years. He's working out. I was like, yeah, I've been on this diet, and fuck you, But the issue is
P90X.
yeah. Who buys the majority of junk food? It's the lower class.
Yeah.
The lower class is what's feeding the whole food industry, basically. And our kind of goal is, to make money from the fitness products, to be a green company. But what we're doing is we want to start a revolution. We want to go to, if you go to like all these neighborhoods, lower class, you go to Inglewood somewhere, all you see is alcohol stores, McDonald's, fast food
Yes.
churches,
Churches.
nothing
Lots of
else.
churches.
Lots of churches. So we would like to take community leaders from those communities, educate them that want to be educated.
Nice. You're changing the hood.
And
Okay.
So the problem is the Hispanic population is the most obese population in the U.S. Mexico is the most obese country in the world. 80%, 85% of people
It's
are
all that
obese.
pan dulce.
And
The food is
chorizo.
bad.
The
And
sweet
you
bread.
know what's funny?
But the food is so good.
Like the Pacific Islanders, they were never over. Like you see, Pacific Islanders are big.
Yeah.
they were never big originally. It's when the Americans came and they introduced frying food.
Yay, America.
Same with
Ruining
Mexico.
the world.
Mexico, back in the day, people used to be healthy because they ate healthy. Then the Americans came in and they're like, hey, fry your fucking beans.
Yeah.
I
Bad.
fucking love refried beans, man. Damn.
So
Damn, America.
So what we're trying to do,
Fucking it
we're
up.
trying to go to those communities, and we there's data and statistics show that people do want to change. People want to stop eating. They just, there's a lot of documentaries of families in the community. Their kids are obese, and the mother will go like, "I got him Kellogg's, light." And it's like, no, it's still fucking junk food.
It's so Kellogg's.
It's like, I got him like sugar free. It's like, well,
I
there's
like to fry foods with olive oil, but how else do you cook? Like, do you steam it or like?
so every time you frying food is the worst thing to do because let's
That's why I haven't been losing weight.
let's say you take a vegetable. Vegetables have a lot of nutrition in them. Any food has a nutrition. When you fry something, it kills everything. All the nutrition, it's basically fat. So the other thing with oil, majority of oils, I think one oil, I forgot the oil. Majority of oils, they stay in your body. So when you cook on oil, that does not digest. Oil
So
stays
like
in your
olive
body.
oil too. And
Olive oil, everything stays in your body.
dang, and that's supposed to be like the better.
Yeah.
But I forgot. I have to check. But
Yeah.
there's an oil that's good for you. You can cook. It's digestible.
Huh.
Like,
But like-
Aragon.
Erica?
I'm not sure.
Avocado oil.
Aragon. I don't know. What
I have to look it up.
Right.
But,
Damn, because I've always just thought like.
So wait, you're telling me my tempura is not
So wait,
good?
Philly, you were talking
tempura's
about
not good. man.
God damn it.
No. This is what we want to do. We want to go to this community and break everything down into like an explainable chemical kind of language.
Okay.
Not to confuse people and say, just to say like oils, they stay in your body. They're carcinogenic.
Fuck, right, just like the
a
vapes.
lot of people in the US, the number one causing these like deaths are from being obese or
Closed
food.
arteries. Yeah.
Yeah. So like if you want to lose weight, like this keto diet, you guys probably heard about the keto diet.
I
It's
Oh,
tried
like-
it
keto.
for a
Oh,
while.
yeah. Okay.
it's high
Yeah,
fat,
yeah.
no
Mostly
carbs.
cheese. Yeah.
You can eat meat. So meat is carcinogenic. Again, there's a lot of chemicals in the meat that stays in your body. It
Right.
does not. It just keeps destroying you. And again, it's a process with food. It's a process that happens over time. If you eat pizza, fast food, drink cola every day for the past like 30 years, I guarantee you're gonna fucking die from like a horrible cancer death.
I definitely put on like 20 pounds eating pizza the last 3 years.
There you go. But if it has to be in moderation. I eat pizza. I love fucking pizza.
Yeah,
It's something you
yeah.
cannot take away from me. But like I have to, every time I eat something, I'm like, I need to go to the gym or like I
Right.
fast. Fasting is the
Gotcha.
best way to get all the carcinogens out
Like
of
a
your
whole
body.
day or like 16 hours.
Well, you need to start practicing, like get your body. But I mean, you
Okay.
can do like eat twice a day and eat healthy.
Right.
You can do once a day after that. And you can do, 2 days just on water.
Right.
Because every time you don't eat, your body just flushes everything out.
Okay, you can play World of Warcraft. That helps.
Do whatever
You're
you
so
want.
busy.
To do. Yeah.
Just focus on your raid team.
Yeah.
You got to beat that boss.
But so
frying
I'm with you, brother.
foods.
frying foods it's bad. So you're killing all the nutrients from you're frying chicken. You're
So do I
basically
use like water to steam it then, or
boil it, steam it. Microwaving food is actually really healthy.
What?
Yeah. Because
Like,
That's
okay.
like conventional wisdom is that
So-
nuking your food is bad.
you're not nuking your food. You're using
It's-
radio
yeah.
frequency to
I'll help Phil. I'll explain that to him later.
Okay, so nuking and cooking in the microwave
Yeah.
is completely different. Microwaving food is you're using a specific radio frequency to vibrate the atoms inside your food, and when like we're made out of atoms, right?
Right.
And what generates heat is the movement of those atoms rubbing
Right.
against each other. So with the microwave, it's just a radio frequency like sound. It's like blasting this sound onto the food. It gets all excited and it gets warmed up. The cool thing is because you're only cooking it for
I get
like
excited when I get rubbed.
it's okay, everybody does. I know this good place on.
Oh, hey. Oh, where's that again?
We'll talk afterwards. We'll talk
It's
afterwards.
a massage parlor. It's nice.
No, go ahead. I'm intrigued now. This is great. This is
Okay.
great. Go.
So
But-
microwaving
So what
is
happens in
not
the
bad.
microwave?
It's not bad.
Because you're only cooking it for like a minute or like 30 seconds. instead of like boiling something for half an hour.
Right.
So the more you excite those atoms, means the more nutrients will leak out because it's being destroyed. So in the microwave,
it's quicker.
it's quicker, so
it
nothing
stays
comes
there.
out. Like you can steam your potato or steam your
You can, yeah.
corn. You know.
Yeah, I steam my potatoes through the microwave.
And
There
hot
you
dog
go.
buns.
And I always thought I was like, this is bad.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
just don't stand next to it.
there's like a lot of microwaves that will their frequency could be bad for you
Mhm.
if you're standing in front of a fucking microwave and it's leaking. You know, the
Right.
gaskets are all leaking. But for food, it's when people say microwaving is bad, you're nuking food. You're not actually nuking. It's a complete two different
You're thinking
processes.
of
Do we know where that
1950s
might have
and
came
shit.
from? Like, were the first microwaves using? No, I don't think
It,
so.
it could be that technology before used to be a little bit. Well,
I don't know where they
it's-
got the
it's not.
nuke
It's not
part.
the food. There's no data or scientific, explanation that your food becomes unhealthy after microwaving it. The argument was the microwaving. If you stand next to it, it's bad for you, and it is bad for you. If
Yeah.
the microwave, if you have one that's from like the 80s,
Yeah.
throw it away.
Yeah,
Go to Target, buy one for $60.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes,
about
it'll
to
be
go buy
better.
a microwave, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But I mean, you can't put your face up against the glass
Well, yeah,
window.
stand
and-
away.
Yeah, stand
Yeah,
away.
yeah,
so,
yeah.
And those frequencies don't travel that far. They break down. I mean,
No, yeah, shortwave.
short wave.
Yeah.
So, and that's the scare. A lot of people, and again, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to go to these communities and break down those, those false stories or false things that people think about cooking food. And we're proving we're going to provide people with data,
Dude,
scientific
that is a
data.
revolution, man.
Yeah, we're going to provide people and say, this is how rockets work. Basically, we don't say, hey, let's try this. It blows up. Let's try this.
Yeah.
We don't try things. We prove everything. We do algorithms, and this is how we know how shit's going to work. How
Just so the listeners know, you're in shape. So if you're saying that this food is the way it should,
There's
like,
pictures.
it's like, damn, there's some credit to that. If
It's
it was
not
a
like
fat
you're
person
overweight
going-
right now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all-
If it
yeah.
was a fat person going, listen.
I mean, I'm not in perfect shape again because I like pizza, and sometimes if my wife listens to this, I go to McDonald's.
Oh yeah.
But
God,
again,
those quarter pounder with cheese, man.
well,
Fries.
I stopped eating red meat, so
Okay.
the
Oh,
Impossible Burger, that's
Dude.
good shit
Okay.
right there.
And you were gonna
You-
talk
we-
some about it. Yeah.
So
There's one
He said
across
that's
the street.
good shit right
You gotta
there.
try the one across the street, man.
Oh, yeah?
Literally right behind us, actually.
At the doghouse?
there's
Yeah.
there's good Impossible Burgers and bad ones.
Oh, here you go.
So vegan food, there's a lot of vegans that are overweight, and a lot of people say it's genetics. So when somebody, and this is the most common thing with Latinos, they would say, "Well, my grandmother, my grandfather, they were all obese, they were all big." And the idea with Latinos is if you look skinny, it means you look unhealthy. And this is actually the same thing in Russia. It's the understanding that if you look skinny, that means my wife is not feeding me.
That's true.
You used to be very skinny.
I used to be, yeah.
actually.
I used
Oh,
to
really?
be
Was this
skinny.
before you
Yeah.
met your
Super
wife?
Skinny.
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, hey,
Yeah.
I mean,
I met my wife, and you saw my wife.
yeah.
I'm like, I should probably step it up, or I'm gonna lose my wife.
He's over here fucking Captain America now and shit.
Yeah, maybe you should be Wolverine.
Nah,
Hey,
I'm bad at acting.
Dude.
And that's with vegan food. There's a lot of it's a lot of chemical processes that makes that vegan food.
Mhm.
That's
And
what I'm saying.
a,
like,
a lot of
that
like
stuff.
Impossible Burgers, they're really high on sodium. It will have
Yeah.
Ah.
1,500 milligrams of sodium, which your max should probably be 1,500 per day.
Damn.
So if you eat an Impossible Burger and it's too fucking salty for you,
Yeah.
don't eat it.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, no.
So where do you go to get your Impossible Burger? Is it the Habit or something, or?
Actually, the Impossible Whoppers. Fucking
Oh, he
goes-
good. Bro.
Oh, they
There you
little
go.
high
There
five.
you go.
Have
So-
you guys tried the
Dude.
one from Carl's Jr. yet?
I don't like
one.
that
I've tried the Carl's Jr. and
not
not a
the
big
same?
fan.
That one.
So the
Burger
Whopper-
King's better.
Immediately, I could tell, like when I had the Superstar, the Beyond
Yeah.
Superstar.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
that's
was
not
like,
same.
nah,
No. So we need to go to Burger
The
King. after
Impossible
today.
Whopper?
Also the fries. I think the
That's
Burger
fries-
King fries is
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's there.
it's there.
It's there.
Oh,
It has
okay.
to be a combination. If
It
you're gonna
does
eat
it?
a burger, you need your fries.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
if things don't match, you should
Burger
run.
King. Mwah.
Wow.
And part of my fear was like, like McDonald's microwaves their food. I was like, that's twice as bad. Not only is it McDonald's, but
No.
it's also microwave. And now I'm hearing. I had no evidence to back up why I was like, you know what, people are right. Microwaving is bad, but you're right.
I was the same thing. I was thinking, or I knew that microwaving things were bad. And I was like, well, I should probably read about it. I started reading about it. And the best thing to read is there's a Google Scholars. You type in Google Scholars,
Right,
it
and then they have all
it has all the
academic-
data, academics.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
better than
Okay.
Googling shit or
Oh.
like going on Instagram to
Right.
some.
Yeah.
So
Academic papers.
yeah, and you
absolutely.
look through the data, and it's like, yeah, there's no scientific data that proves that microwaving is bad for you.
Wow.
The only thing that's bad for you is if you stand in front of it.
The
Right,
fast food
right.
industry was afraid that they were going to lose your business because you just make your food at fucking home.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I can imagine would have caused the propaganda to get so out of control that
Mm-hmm.
And
it became conventional wisdom.
Well, they probably use the terminology of microwave radiation, which off of that to use it as a push
Mm-hmm.
to say it's all nuclear. Because when you hear radiation, you think nuclear
Mm-hmm.
energy and all that other stuff. So I was always wondering why do they the what do you call it? Layman's term is nuke your food, which I'm
Right.
like, you're not. There's no plutonium in your
Yeah,
your microwave.
it's a completely different
Yeah.
process.
So
Yeah,
like you put
yeah.
ground turkey in a bowl into the microwave, and then after it's been heated, add olive oil or like
Don't-
so
well-
it's
Any
not
oil,
fried?
no oil.
Just
Don't
no
use-
oil.
Well, you don't. Why do you need oil to
It
microwave something?
tastes pretty good.
It makes it juicy or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Or-
I guess I could add like spices, like paprika.
You can
herbs
add
instead.
spices, yeah.
Yeah, use a wet, not wet towel, but a wet piece of paper towel,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
wrap it in the paper towel, and then it's kind of like steaming it.
Steaming food is the best way because it keeps all the nutrients in.
Mm-hmm.
So vegetables, meats.
Cooking with wine is just as bad because that's carcinogenic at that point, huh?
It depends on so a lot of wine right now is cheap as fuck, and they mix. It's basically alcohol, sugar, salt. It's like pop.
Okay, yeah,
you know how why pop is so addictive.
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's salt in it. There's more salt and there's sugar. So when you drink something salty, you get thirsty. This is why when you keep drinking Coke, you're like, I want to drink more fucking Coke. So and this is the main formula for everything in the food industry. They put salt and sugar. So when you look at your nutrition fact, there's salt and sugar. That means it's going to be addictive.
That explains the yerba mate drinks that I've been drinking, man.
A lot of salt
Yeah.
and sugar in them.
Because when I make the yerba mate myself at home, it never tastes anywhere near as exciting. Like it's literally like the difference between crack and eating a salad. You know what I mean? I do the yerba mate leaves like without the canned version, and I'm like, I can live without it.
It's funny you mentioned crack. So
That's a great segue. That's gonna be the name of this episode. It's funny you mentioned crack.
so
Hey, there it is.
So sugar is 4 to 6 times more addictive than crack.
Yes.
Cocaine.
Yes.
What the fuck?
So
Yeah.
this is why sugar is so addictive. This is why people cannot, especially the lower class, they don't have because of the stores when you go to those the
Food for
communities,
less, yeah.
food for less. You
Food for
cannot.
less is such trash.
You cannot buy normal fucking food.
Yeah,
like you really want to buy food. There's
There's a Whole Foods down the street here, but in my hood, it's food for
yeah,
less.
yeah. But I mean, you can still get vegetables and things
Yeah,
like
you
that.
can, yeah.
And the whole thing, like with organic and GMOs,
Mm-hmm.
it's bullshit. Like organic it's controlled by the food industry too.
It's just
Yeah,
extra
yeah.
price.
You're basically so GMOs they're not bad for you. Remember like bananas used to be like you could not eat a banana 300 years ago. It was
Yeah.
disgusting.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait.
It looked completely different.
Oh.
So the evolution, like everything evolutions in life, right? With food, same thing. Like strawberries look completely different 300 years ago. Same for everything else in food.
Okay.
So what GMOs does, we can go there and speed up that process. Bananas used to be really carcinogenic. We take out that carcinogen and we can make them better. Add some sugar naturally. This is what genetically modified organisms are.
It's better.
You're making your food better. You're making it.
Dude,
It grows
everything
faster.
I knew about life is weird right now.
So if
as far as nutrition is concerned.
yeah.
And we can talk about life later.
He's like, because there's also some shit.
There's some shit you need to know.
that's crazy. So
There's just so much misinformation out there.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
misinformation.
the whole genetically modified stuff. So technically, they can make it where they change the banana to like something that's like healthy and good for you, right?
Yes.
Like they can add vitamins to it or some
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
shit. So you can basically modify stuff. That's the only food you really need to eat.
Yeah,
right?
this is like the same thing with salmon. There's Atlantic salmon,
okay.
which is more expensive, and there's farm raised salmon. But the thing with genetically modified organisms is corporations going to cheap out, and they'll they'll make it bad for you. So with the salmon, I eat almost only farm raised salmon. Because the Atlantic salmon, I mean, you've seen the garbage patches in the
I heard
oceans.
about that. Yeah.
So you don't really want to be eating anything out of the ocean.
I'm not a seafood person, so it doesn't even hurt.
Because it's like oil leaks, all the fucking pollution,
mercury in the water.
Yeah,
all that
you know, like those boats that the cruise liners, they dump everything into the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Where else is
once
it
you
gonna
go
go?
into the open waters,
Wow.
there's no law in the open waters, and you can do whatever you want. You can dump oil if you really want to.
We have a big landmass full of trash out in the Pacific.
Yeah, size of Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that whole thing with when we started adding tariffs to the countries, and then they started sending our trash back to us. Like we tried to send it to the Philippines, and they were like, "Fuck you!" And they sent it back to us. I only recently started throwing things away, and as I throw it away, I'm going, "Fuck, man!" Like, I know that I don't even think about where this goes after I.
So
throw it
this
away.
this is the
We should
problem.
just send it into space, just like fuck it.
Well, actually, I think it was Sweden.
Futurama.
Sweden ran out of trash. They're buying trash from all the other countries because the recycling program is so good. They're buying trash.
yeah. I read
Of
that.
course, it's Sweden.
You know, so we can have this here. The problem. So in Europe, when you go, there's recycling everywhere. They teach you what to recycle. Like when you go to recycling, like, you go to Costco. There's like recycling. And there would be like non-recyclable, and there's all this recyclable shit in there, and you're like people just don't know.
They don't care.
This should be taught in schools. This should be taught in elementary schools, junior high schools. They should teach you what to recycle. It's basics. It's fucking glass.
I just know the song "Recycle,
Reduce,
Reduce,
there you go.
Reuse."
But does that help you recycle?
And that costs lots of money to make those commercials and
You
advertisements.
go out to recycling bin, sing the song, and just fucking throw it.
Yeah. Just like that whole Dare
I
program.
recycled.
I'm the
Yeah.
guy that's walking with the glass, like, yeah, and I toss it in the fucking trash.
Yeah. That's
I'm an
wild.
asshole.
But
We're so American.
our mentality in the company, we believe the best way, because everybody reaches out to upper class. They want to make that money. We want to go where it starts. We want to go to the parents and say, you know, when you see somebody that's 400 pounds and they're 23, that 400 pounds does not happen in like 2-3 years. This happens when you're like fucking 5.
Yeah.
When I see a kid that's 200 pounds, they're 12.
Drinking Gatorade.
I want to go to their parents and say, hey,
What the
you need to be
fuck?
in jail.
Yeah.
Like you're killing your fucking kid. And then the kids, like they get made fun in school. It's not a kid's fault he's fat. It's their parents' fault. Like they should go and say, hey, what the fuck are you doing to me? And I'm being made fun of.
Yeah.
And that's the other problem is because of that bullying, the obesity, people, you know, say you should not, you know, say the person's fat. It's not nice.
Yeah.
No, you should go and say, hey, like you're
fucking fat.
Would you go up to a crack addict and say, dude, like you're a nice like he's a crack addict, he's a best friend.
Oh, he is.
Would you go up and it's like, dude, you should probably stop doing crack because like you're my friend.
Right.
You know?
I probably should.
Well, it's like that fat bastard thing, right? I eat because I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy because I eat.
So because of sugar, that dopamine, everything when we fall in love, when we have sex, that's dopamine. That's that one chemical that makes us happy. There are studies when people were in love and people were in cocaine, their brain waves, the brain, same thing, same dopamine levels. Same with food. People get dopamine and you get fucking fat. And what happens is when you inject a lot of dopamine into a person, same with crack cocaine. You know, you cannot go up to a drug addict and say, I'm going to take all the drugs away from you because I don't want you to do drugs.
Yeah.
You don't do that like that.
It'll
You give him,
fucking
it'll kill you, literally. So you have to give him drugs little by little so they come out from there.
Right.
This is the way drug addicts should be treated.
Like weaning them off, right?
Same thing with obesity. You cannot just say, this is what happens. Like, you need to get on a diet.
Right. They,
Right.
they cut everything out.
No.
They go to
Right.
CrossFit.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, you're going to eat like, you know, you eat McDonald's 6 times a week. You're going to eat McDonald's 2 times a week now.
Yeah.
You need rewards. People need rewards in order. And the whole losing weights is completely wrong. It should not, obesity should be treated like drugs because it is
You wean
drugs.
them off, yeah.
You have to give them like some like
Right,
pizza,
okay.
whatever foods, so their dopamine levels
love
don't
pizza,
drop.
man.
Right. So is there a pill or a drug that's just pure dopamine?
You know, I thought about there's really nothing like that.
Can you not? How
But
do
imagine-
you extract dopamine?
But people are gonna abuse it.
Yeah.
I know. I just meant like that's the ultimate
Right
drug,
here, buddy.
right?
I'll be the first one.
Joe just be like, Sorry, guys. I want to fucking wave right now.
I'm just surprised none of those companies have created a hardcore
It's called
dopamine
ecstasy,
pill.
bro.
Yeah, like a
Is
supplement.
it? Is it? Yeah, or yeah.
It's called crack cocaine.
Crack cocaine. But I don't know what's in crack.
This shit is good. Woo!
Yeah.
I feel fucking invincible right now.
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna go shoot my leg.
Yeah. Damn.
Fuck, man. Like
This podcast is my dopamine.
I've been working so hard to like I exercise like crazy, but all I always like I like to cook with olive oil and fry my food, and I'm like, oh, it's olive oil, you know.
Stop that.
And now I'm like I gotta steam my shit, you know.
Well, just stop frying things. It's really it's
that
the worst
simple.
thing you can do to food.
I like
you know?
eating the raw and just eat raw stuff. I eat raw kale. I have no problem with that. Raw spinach.
I can send you guys the oil that's good for you. You can
Yeah,
still cook
yeah.
with oil. You know, you
Right.
can, but don't overcook your food.
Right.
Don't make your food like when it
I
starts
always
burning.
cook on like
Yeah.
the lowest heat possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or
like-
butter, right? We can use butter.
Don't butter's evil, man.
Butter
get me
will
started on
clog those
butter.
arteries.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll clog your arteries.
Yeah.
Basically lard. I don't even
Yeah,
fuck,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Dude,
Some wild
everything has
stuff.
Changed, man. It's funny you should mention crack. That's definitely the name of this episode.
Philly's
man.
not the same anymore. Yeah.
Fuck,
He's got a new
because
man.
I've always wondered why, like, no matter how hard I work, the one thing I can't change is the fucking.
Well, see, this is what we're going back
abs.
back to is when you're stuck in the same, you know, like I'm not changing something. You have to.
Hey, way to bring it back full circle.
There you go.
Full circle.
You have to
Your
realize and
timing
say-
is impeccable.
Yeah, we're about to go into the soapbox. Yeah.
You have to realize that if something's not changing, I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
So
I mean, I changed the
Learn
things
from
I was
Keenan.
frying, but I didn't change the frying
yeah,
itself.
if you want to lose weight and you keep, you know, you spend 5 days in the gym and you're gaining weight,
yeah.
you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
You're probably eating something that you shouldn't be eating.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, fuck. Even though it's all vegetarian
Wish I could
based,
have more.
I still fry it up. and
Pussy is really good. For you.
yeah.
Really healthy.
Yes. Yes.
As long as it's not salty
I
and
like
sugar.
I like cheese.
Unless you're on the other side, and that's also good for you.
yeah, whatever's good for you. But like, I love fucking cheese and frying things. Man.
Yeah.
And those like the worst kind. Like melted cheese on anything is the way I live, dude.
The lactose in cheese also stays in your body. It does not go anywhere. It does
But
not
I thought cheese was the more addictive than Coke and
because there's
crack.
sugar in it.
Oh, okay.
Gotta cut out cheese. Fuck.
You get vegan cheese.
Almost my whole
I
life.
mean, honestly, excuse me.
No,
Joe.
go ahead, go ahead.
I apologize.
No, go ahead.
I really apologize.
I love what we're doing.
You got the vibe. You got the vibe of the podcast.
nice.
Big Papa over here.
Go ahead.
But I forgot what was I saying.
Oh, cheese, vegan cheese.
It's the weed. You know, you smoke a lot of weed, you forget shit.
Cheeses, sugar, all that stuff.
It's okay to don't eat it every day. You know,
Yeah.
limit it. It's like
That's what I do, though.
yeah, make it
Cheese
make
or
it as a
pussy? Oh, okay.
just cheese. You know,
Oh, okay.
all the carcinogenic like McDonald's. Make it as a reward, like once a month maybe, or you know, try to get. The funny thing is, if you completely get out of that system of like sugar, if you stop eating sugar moderately, slow it down, you will not crave sugar, and that's the funny thing about it.
I had read something that said that some of the food leaves bacteria behind that starts to send signals to make you want to replicate more of it. And so
Yeah.
once you cycle it out of your body, you don't have a craving.
Exactly. This is why people go through fastings. You get everything out of your body. So, you know, you eat a chocolate bar, you're like, this tastes disgusting. You know, like a Snickers bar or whatever.
Because no longer in your body.
It's funny because when I gave up red meat, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
I
the
stopped.
taste
I
for it.
stopped craving it. I stopped having a
There you
taste
go.
for it. Yeah, and it's been like
My
damn near
man.
10 years.
My man.
And now you have that impossible option. So
Yeah,
The impossible, yeah.
I'm thinking of buying a microwave and then getting they have the Beyond Meat at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And like
There
just
you go.
microwave that up, add some fucking spices to that shit, throw some vegetables in there. Okay, frozen vegetables. Is that good or bad?
well, it's processed, right? Because it has to
It
be
is. It goes.
shipped.
Well,
and-
it depends because it is processed, but with freezing, they freeze it in such high temperatures that they keep all the nutrients in there.
but they don't freeze it at the farm, right? They take it to a facility,
The factory,
So
yeah.
from that transportation
Yeah.
of on the farm where it could get like pesticides or whatnot, and then
I mean,
in the
that's
truck.
almost, unless you're growing your own shit, it's completely.
The best way is to grow on your own.
Pretty,
shit.
yeah.
Do
We're
you
talking
have-
about weed,
do
right?
you have a
Yeah.
farm?
No, yeah, weed, same thing.
Okay.
Man, grow your own
Growing
weed.
shit.
Right. So do you have you practiced farming and things like that?
No.
It's like who fucking
See,
You have to have a yard.
well, there's a lot of products coming out like for weed. Going back to weed.
Oh.
There's these little
incubator
incubator
yeah.
pods. You just put it in and you forget about
Does
it.
the process on its own.
Huh.
Yeah.
and then you wake up with some of that sticky icky one day.
There you
That's
go.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where
And it's
can we
all
get
app
something
controlled
like
and
that?
everything.
We can buy that at like a Best
Yeah,
Buy or
Amazon, man.
Keenan's
Oh,
like,
Amazon.
let me look into this real quick.
Take your notes. Take your notes. Come on.
something.
Well, I think that brings us to the final segments of the show, which we usually give the guest the honor of going first. It's the soapbox. You can talk about anything. You mentioned your company, whatever. You can talk about anything, and then when you're done, you just let us know. We pass the baton over to Keenan, then me, and then Joe. So,
Yes.
the floor is yours as a reward for.
I don't know what to talk. I don't like to talk about things.
Like, like whatever, like for example, the business
Self promotion, anything you
that-
want
Yeah,
that
to
pretty
you're
much.
So
talking
I
about, if
guess
you're looking
yeah.
for
I
funding
guess
or whatever.
I can whoever's listening. It's talking about food and nutrition. Take care of your body. Don't take things for granted. It's gonna hurt you. A lot of people say I'm young. I can. They do crack cocaine. They run. They jump. Once I'm 35. Once you go over 30, man, things start hurting, and it's all the food, all the things you've been through life. So you got to take it easy. You got to take it. Your body is like the most thing you take care of is your body, because if you want to live, take care. If you don't want to have pain in life, and you got to take care of yourself. You should always kind of be selfish in a way. Always think about yourself first, and that's about it.
Dude, big.
Word.
Perfect. I mean, it came across
Yeah.
the whole episode.
There you go.
Nice.
And this dude looks like Captain America, so listen to him.
Well, we definitely got to take a photo
Yeah,
because we
before
met.
you-
We can't. Yeah.
Keenan,
My
take it away.
soapbox is a clarification. So this is a new segment called Keenan's Clarification, or CC. And what it is last week on the podcast I talked about dog owners and cat owners, mostly the owners who purchase their pets, not who pick them up off the street. I just want to re-clarify and prove my justification that they're all dicks, because I recently had a animal. I'm gonna try and make this as vague as possible in case they listen to this podcast episode. They had an animal in the house, and while I was away, and they were away, I barricaded my door in the front and the back of the door so that the animal couldn't get in. I get a call from the owner of the animal about, hey, are you home? I was like, no, I haven't been home. I even sent a message to you saying I won't be home till like 12 that night. And then they're like, okay, well, the animal is somehow in your room. I'm like, oh shit, then what's going on? And they were saying that there's no way the animal could have gotten into your room unless a human being opened up the door and let the animal in. So I'm like, oh shit, somebody broke into the house. Did my expensive $1,500 computer get stolen that's out in the open in the living room? No. Did my $1,000 iPad in my bedroom get stolen? No. So I'm like, okay, so obviously this animal was able to push itself in my room, and because it was barricaded on both sides, couldn't open up the door. So it must have squeezed in, tried to get out, but it doesn't have opposable thumbs, so it couldn't just open up the door. It can only push in one direction. So that was my conclusion in my head, and I didn't say anything about that. But the frustrating part, and this is about dog owners and cat owners, that they don't take responsibilities for the actions of their pets. Somehow, something else, it would have been myself, something else had to have let this animal in and stuck the animal in the room until the owner got home. Because when I got home, the whole entire carpet was scratched up and tore up, and pieces and chunks were everywhere, and other stuff of my items in the room were bitten and chewed off in my room. And I was like, all I really wanted at the time was like, hey, my animal, messed up, it's my responsibility, I'll take care of it, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. I didn't get anything. As much as I pressured this owner to be like, hey, did any of these other scenarios happen to make it prove that it wasn't just your dumbass animal that got in there? And sure enough, nothing. And it almost seemed like they were trying to blame me for having a barricaded door on both sides so the animal couldn't get out if it got in. So that's where my frustration in the previous week, because I dealt with some stuff about that earlier. This is my soapbox justification of why that sucks, because a lot of animal owners will do stupid shit by not believing that their own cute little, furry creature could possibly do any like crazy ass damage without them knowing about it. So it's just frustrating that people don't own up to their own responsibilities, and then would at other times call me out as not being a responsible adult. And it's like, I don't know. Fuck all you.
You're done?
Yeah, I'm done. Whatever.
So you know who you are. Get your shit together. I'm not going to say your name, but I know who the fuck you are, and get your shit together.
Both Joe and Philly know.
Hey man, some people don't know any better. Some people really are oblivious because they're probably also not looking at other things in their lives that they're probably also responsible for.
And I have experience calling people out on their stuff, but they always have a reason or excuse to justify it, and I always come back looking like I'm the a-hole.
See, dogs are. I have dogs too, and I've went through the same things where my dogs would chew something.
Yeah,
and dogs are like kids. When kids would like break something, it's like they're kids. Like, no, fuck you. It's like that was expensive. Like, educate your kid or do something with your kid.
Yeah.
So I feel you, man.
Yeah, and it's just there are responsible pet owners out there, but I just see way too many who get pets because they're cute and cuddly and they don't have kids themselves and they need someone to take care of. But yeah, it's just frustrates me. It's like that's a living creature that's in your home that you're keeping prisoner while you're partying or at work all freaking day. And it's like that does shit to things that have brains and stuff. I don't know, just get a mouse or a gopher or some shit like that.
Get a goldfish.
Get a snake or something.
Okay.
Go Philly.
My soapbox is just going to be summarizing the same things that we've been talking about. I kind of like what Igor had brought up earlier. There's a large part of yourself that you'll never be aware of until you actually put yourself in a position where you begin to dig your heels in and say, you know what? Maybe I am a fucking asshole, or maybe there were things that I did do that I just didn't even know I was doing. It's not to say that person wasn't doing other things too, and like they have their own things they need to work on, but that's for them to work on, and it really is up to you to take a hard look at yourself and say like, am I really willing to change? And not for them, for you, and I want to encourage you to look at that, whether it's a job that you were like, fuck all of them, they fire me, whatever, like fuck them. It's like, what was your role in that whole situation? Because it's sometimes it is corrupt, but not always. It tends to be, usually it's just our unwillingness to change. And so if there's anything that's for fucking certain, and I know we've all heard this, it's going to be change. And you're either going to change with it or it's going to change on you, And so, yeah, for me, it's just embrace change and grow out of the comfort zone, because there really is more out there that you can benefit from and enjoy only once you're willing to step outside of that or step into yourself and grow in there. Either way, it's growth. Exactly. That's my soapbox.
That's beautiful. Right. Thank you for keeping it short and sweet.
Fuck you, Joe.
What? I wasn't even talking about you.
I know who you were talking about.
Jeez.
You guys love each other. I can feel that.
Bro.
I can feel that.
It's a love-hate relationship.
One of those hotel rooms that has the heart beds.
Head over to the snooty fox,
and we'll just be jumping on it while the quarters in.
Playing video games. And
Oh, I picture guys with the pillows.
that would be good too.
But ass naked.
Slow motion and everything.
Dick swinging and everything.
Like that movie White Chicks.
Hey, it's beautiful. Whatever you guys like, it's cool. I respect that.
Yeah.
It's 2019.
True love is true love.
Love is beautiful.
Yes.
All right. Well, I briefly mentioned the whole Spider-Man coming to the MCU, so I'm glad that happened. That's just one real thing, real fast. The main thing I want to just put out there into the world, release the energy, is the fact that we won the Supporter Shield. I'm talking about LAFC this week, just passed. We won the Supporter Shield. So that automatically puts us into the CONCACAF tournament for next year. I'm talking about soccer. I'm talking about LAFC. I'm super glad that happened. It was just a surreal experience last Wednesday when it happened. We were at the stadium. We won 3-1 against Houston Dynamo, which we kind of have like a beef with because the last time we played in Houston, some of their fans assaulted our fans. So it was pretty crazy. And I actually know the guy who was assaulted, so that fucking sucks. So it was a really good win. It felt good because we beat a team who's been kind of disrespectful to us. So and we did it, and we became champs for the Supporter Shield. So that was super dope. So I don't know if any of you guys know, but right now LAFC is number 1 in the league. We won the Western Conference. We just won the Shield, and we're on our way to the playoffs. We have home field advantage. I mean, there's a lot of good things that are happening with this team, and I love that the club itself has shown full support of the actual union of supporters who we are. I'm not sure if you know, but I'm part of like a supporters group for this soccer team. So, you know, when we won the Shield, the first thing that the team said is like, yo, we couldn't have done it without these fans because these fans legit have cheer us on every game, the whole game. So it was a good feeling, you know, to be part of that. And it was a good feeling to know that the team, that the club itself recognizes you, you know. I mean, you hear it a lot with a lot of other sports teams, but it doesn't feel as genuine because it's just something that they say, as opposed to like this team who's really grown and has continued to be just as strong as they were when they first started, which was last year. I'm just really fortunate to be a part of this community of people, and I'm just really excited for what happens the next couple of weeks. And if you guys ever want, just let me know and we come out to a game. I know you guys aren't really sports driven, and really I'm not either. But there are specific teams that I do follow and I do love. So that's it. Supporter Shield, we fucking did it. Let's fucking go.
Nice.
All right.
And with that,
We
have come to the end of episode 45 of the None of Our Business podcast with our guest, Igor Chak. He came through. He killed it. We appreciate. What the fuck are you doing?
It's my
Keenan?
silent beatbox.
Well, I just didn't want to hog all the beatbox.
No, you can't. I'm trying. I'll get better at it. See, because you can add. I want to be that additive. You know. See, he does it really good. Bah, bah.
All right.
Eat woman out.
Suck your man's dick.
Vote for me for president.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.